YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. I hope you are having a lovely Friday. It's Positive Friday. Lots of excitement for Oiler fans, as of course it is a big game tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. As I don't know if it's a must-win game, but it is. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. They need. Did you know teams who trail 2-0 in the conference final in the salary cap era? Any guesses what their record is? How about 1-18? The only team who lost the first two games and came back to win, Tampa Bay against the Rangers in 22. They lost the first two in New York, came back, won 4 straight, 1-6. So it's plausible you can do it, but odds aren't in your favor. So the Oilers' big game tonight against the Dallas Stars. Go to playalberta.ca, our title sponsor. And hey, guess what? If you're feeling confident about the Oilers, and there's really no reason to think that the Oilers can't win this game. They were the better team for the majority of the game. The problem was they had an atrocious 6 minutes, and that really cost them. They are a slight underdog, actually a lower underdog tonight than they were in game one. So even the line thinks, you know what, this Oiler team should be able to come back. So check it out at playalberta.ca. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Text us in our eWell inbox. We got a lot of texts flying in already. I love it. It's Positive Friday. Also, today, it's the big day for all of you who have qualified to win the $50 turnkey solar system, courtesy of Action Electrical. We will do the draw today at 4:00. So good luck. Be sure to tune in. We'll do the draw, and somebody is going to win that and maybe win it for yourselves. So that's pretty good. Also today on the show, Craig Button will join us right off the hop in hour number 1. Tyson Middle most will join us as the Elks preseason, man. It's a harsh life in pro sports. Preseason game for the Elks tomorrow. And for young players, like some of them, you get one chance in a game. Now, not like you have one rep, but you get one game. In some cases, a quarter, a half. I know they've been watching everything in training camp, but it's different. Now you're in a game. And you're going to have to find a way to bring your A game, because a B game might not keep you around for the cuts. So it's tough. Mark Letestu, former Edmonton Oiler, will join us at 3:20 today. We got Cam Tate. Also, Mark Spector will be by. We got the pregame show with Walks. Cam Tate will be by. Wanye Gretz joining us as well. We'll get your thoughts, 833-401-1440. Also today, just a little programming note, OTR, we're not on location today because they have a private function that they booked. Now, the private function was originally going to, when they planned it, that, you know, they want to start later, but obviously they're Oiler fans, so they're moving everything up, and they have a whole stage. They got a big performance, so it would have been impossible to do a live radio show with the band blaring on the stage. So there you go. And hey, the private function, they paid big cake to reserve the spot, so we get it. So we'll be back at OTR on Tuesday, but you know what? Still your place to watch the game.
They will open up to the public early on in the for the third period, but I know many of you will be going somewhere else. But Sunday afternoon, Tuesday, whatever, or post game, I'll tell you, post game at OTR tonight, especially a Friday night Oilers victory. Whoo, mama, whoo, mama! It'll be it should be very good. Hey, Gregor, what is your thoughts on playing Jeff Skinner over Trent Frederick? You think he would help more than Frederick is from Dan? Now, I know last game Frederick had that chance in the third period, and then he just fanned on it. So here's the thing. Jeff Skinner is not a player who's used to playing, and nor is Trent Frederick, to be honest, but, to be playing 10 minutes a night. So first of all, it's an extremely hard role to do. So that's one. Number two, I think the chances of the head coach putting Skinner and Perry on the same line are virtually nil. You're not going to have your two slow skaters in the same line, so it's not going to happen. So if you bring in Jeff Skinner, then you got to move your other lines around. And I don't think after one game really one period where the Oilers didn't play well, that the coach is going to do that. So no, I don't see it happening. Now, if they get down 2-0, and again, you're getting no goals, coach might have no choice. Just like he did, remember when he brought in Kapanen and, so now the Oilers had only lost one game, and Emberson and Stetcher, a little bit different, move things around. I could see Arvidsson coming back in, probably even ahead of Jeff Skinner, to be honest. But again, that would mean a right winger would come out. Now, Corey Perry had an unreal first few rounds, but he is 40. And you wonder if, speed, hey, you can't take another offensive zone penalty, I'll tell you that. So I could see maybe Skinner for a Perry and, somebody moves to the right wing. That's not the end of the world. Frederick can play the right side if need be. But I just don't think the coach is going to have Frederick and Skinner Skinner and Perry on the same line. I don't see a reason for it. I wouldn't do it. The Oilers played quite well, except for that stretch. And a lot of it was the penalty kill more than it was the actual 5-on-5 play that drove him into the ditch. So, you know what? They got to be better there. There is no doubt in my mind they have to be a lot better. Hey, Gregor, do you know what the Oilers' record is when McCauley's ref? I do not, Darren. I'm not one who really goes into that and looks, when this guy refs, the team wins. Well, how many penalties? Like, just because he's reffing, if there's lots of penalties or no penalties called, we'll see. But I don't know. I know it's a stat that people put out there. I personally don't put a huge amount of stock in it, but that's just how it goes. Cons, where do you come out on do you care who refs?
I guess when I see it, I kind of ponder like, is there more to it? Or is it black and white calls that are being made by these refs? I mean, you see the high sticks last game. Are you going to blame the ref for that? No, they were the proper calls. If it's a play out of bounds or, a delay a game over the glass, you're not going to argue those. So maybe there's something to it. I just have belief that there's not the conspiracies behind the Oilers and the Gary Bettman power to, not have a Canadian team. I don't want to buy into that. I want to think they have the opportunity. It could just be, coincidence maybe.
Yeah. So you think Bettman's like, hey, let's get to game 7 and have the Canadians team lose in game 7? Like, come on.
How were the refs in that game, Gregor? Who was it? Was it Wes?
For the Oilers in game 7 against Carolina?
No. Or Florida?
Or Tampa Bay when they lost, or when Ottawa lost, or when Montreal lost. Like, which one are we talking? So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know who the ref was in game 7. I don't recall there being much controversy, quote Jimmy Fallon, regarding the officials in that game. Hey, boys, any team ever come back from 0-2 twice in the same playoffs? Braden? It's a good question, Braden. I do not know the answer to that. It would take a lot of research to find it out. So, but like teams, when I look just overall, and I'll try to find the stat here I'll try to find it during the break. Just, what teams' records are overall when it comes to, even game 7s and series situational play. So historically in the NHL, when you trail 2-0 and there's been teams that trail 2-0, there's been a total of 58 series wins, 58, 359. It ain't great. Now, would 2 of those happen in the same year? It's very plausible, but I'd have to look it up. And it would take a lot of time that I couldn't do during the break. So They don't have the series outlined which ones by years and which teams. So who knows? Hey guys, guess who's the ref in Game 7? Same guy that gave McDavid the abuse of the official. Kazari should have never refed them in the final. How many penalties were there in the final, Chris? Honestly, did I sit back and watch that game and be like, oh man, the refs really screwed over the Oilers? That didn't come into play for me at all. Cons, how many penalties were called in that game? And I don't recall any blatant on-calls.
Last year's Game 7, bringing it up here. Oilers lost 2-1, and get the penalty log here in a second. It was 3 penalties. Foegele for high sticking, obvious. Kachuk for tripping, and Bouchard high sticking.
Yeah. Well, the Foegele one, like, how do you not call a penalty? It stuck him right in the face. So then the other 2 was 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High stickings are very.
I think I'll say this.
Rarely
I'll
wrong.
say this as politely as I can. I think people who worry about the refs, you're trying to make an excuse before it happens. The refs had nothing to do with Oilers losing Game 1 against Dallas the other day. So why are we talking about the refs? Right? Are you saying that wasn't a penalty on Evander Kane? It was a blatant call on Kane. Stuck him right in the face. Corey Perry cross-checked the guy. Like, you couldn't ask for 2 easier penalties. Those are so blatant obvious in the third period. Blatantly obvious. So I don't have much of an issue. So now I was looking it up, Cons. And I do teams that have come, because I was looking at teams, first of all, that I remember coming back. The Kings, I'm 90% sure, Cons, came back twice, but in 2014, right? Remember that was the year of the San Jose Shark gag job. Also look up 2010. Did the Flyers do it as well? Because they came back from 2003. But I'm pretty sure the Kings came back from 2002 twice against the Sharks and against Chicago. Because that was when them and Chicago were like the dominant teams in the West and they were playing each other. Kings would win a cup. Chicago would win a cup. Kings would win a cup. Chicago would win a cup. Right? They won 5 of 6 cups in that 6-year span, with Chicago winning 3 of them and the Kings winning 2. And the only other one was the one by Boston when they beat Vancouver, when the Canucks couldn't show up at home ice. But I'm pretty sure the Kings did it. So it's happened for Braden the Texter. But hey, now, just because the Oilers lose, if the Oilers lose tonight, of course, it doesn't mean they're over. The odds just become infinitely harder. And in the conference finals, it is tougher. Now, I don't think were the Kings down 2-0 to Chicago in 2014. No, they weren't. Yeah. Okay. So, because the only team that was down 2-0 was the Tampa Bay Lightning, who came back to win. Everybody else, you could have been down 2-0. You just didn't come back and win. So. Right. Okay. So it's hard to do. Hey, you know what's hard to do? Like Carolina Hurricanes. For them, it's just hard to win a conference final game. 0-14 now. And last night, they got dominated. And Freddie Anderson, like, I know there's people talking about, Freddie Anderson should be the MVP after 2 rounds. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's not getting any shots. Look at the goal he gave up last night. The same goal that he gave up last night would have Oiler fans blowing up Twitter if that was Stuart Skinner. Because it was a bad goal. I have no debate it was a bad goal. But Freddie Anderson, hockey can be, you look at the scoring chances and the shots he faced in the second round and then compare it to the scoring chances and the shots he's facing in this round. His save percentage has gone from really good to really bad. And now they're down 2-0. They lost both at home. They're in a world of trouble. Florida's the better team. I think they're showing they're the better team. Man, Seth Jarvis, that didn't look great. He got rocked. Some people, that was was it late? Man, it was close to late. It wasn't cheap. Might have been slightly late. But even then, it was kind of like one Mississippi, boom. Like, you got to replay that in full time. The minute you do it in slow motion, it looks way worse. You got to replay that Mikkola hit in real time. And when I watch it many times in real time, and maybe it's a penalty, but it's definitely not suspension worthy because it's so bang, bang. Like, guys finish their checks on the boards where no one gets hurt more. No one thinks twice about it. So that's why I didn't think it was late, and Jarvis finished his ship, but then obviously he was in trouble. And man, I'd be surprised if he's going to play next game. I'd be surprised. So, also, Cons, I know you're a big jersey guy. Have you you notice the Elks, what they're bringing back?
I've seen them teasing some things on social media. Yeah.
Well, I think they're bringing back the white with the green, or with the gold numbers, not the green. The gold looked up, right, but I think the gold looks the best.
Yeah, I haven't, to be honest with you, loved the recent look that the team has gone with. Um, Going back to, I like the Mike Riley, like the dark green, but having the double E on the sleeve with the striping there, I think that's a good look. And I have seen them kind of throwing that out there. The Damon Allen white jersey, that would be a clean look if they go back to it. Do you have something official, or is this just speculation?
No. They're changing their jersey.
Good.
Yeah. So it's coming. And I know, like, some people are like, whatever. How about change the win-loss column? Touche. That's what matters the most. I totally 100% agree. But that doesn't mean that you can't do other things at the same time. It doesn't have to be just one thing, right? You can change a multitude of things, and they can all add up and be a little bit better for your team. So that's always a good thing, right? Always a good thing. So the Boston Bruins 2011 were down 2-0 to Montreal, came back and won that series in 7 games. And they also were down 2-0 in the final to the Canucks. Cons. So there's the team we know for sure in 2011 who did it. Shout out to Chris for sending us that. Attaboy, we confirmed it. It's true. Quick break. We'll return. Craig Button will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
During the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions assembled.
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values, facing an electrical menace, call on the men and women of Action.
Yeah, they did it. They did it in the second and the fourth.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages, the ultimate destination for everything garage, storage solutions, cabinets, vehicle hoists, accessories, and even Traeger grills. Visit our massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Yeah, they're done. $2:23, positive Friday, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Playoffs continuing tonight, both in the NHL and in the NBA. Oilers, of course, the big one. They're in Dallas, looking to even up the Western Conference final at 1 apiece. Meanwhile, the Knicks trying to bounce back after they blew a lead against Indiana. That's the greatest stat I've seen in a long time. Teams who trailed by 9 or more points in the final minute of an NBA playoff game were 0 wins, 1,414 losses until 2 nights ago, and the Pacers won. Now they're 1 and 1,414. So it's possible. Highly unlikely, but possible. The Oilers given up a 2-goal lead. That's actually happened quite a bit in the NHL playoffs, so not nearly as rare, but still painful. And as head coach Chris Knobloch says, hey, it's heartbreaking. The Oilers have had a few of those, and lost in the last minute against LA, lost in the last second against Vegas, and then blew this one against the Dallas Stars. So they will look to bounce back tonight, as we're going to talk some NHL as well as some WHL as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where the coffee's a small, $1. They've lowered all their prices, baby. You want the McCafe, great tasting coffee? The coffee drinkers rave about it. The best out there. So get it for $1 only at McDonald's, as Craig Button joins us live from the Memorial Cup. Butts, how you doing, my man?
I am great, Jason. Yeah, the Memorial Cup's getting ready to start off with Medicine Hat playing the host for Rimouski Oceanic, and the atmosphere is great. It's a great hockey town here in Rimouski, and certainly with a lot of great history. So the tournament sets up as a real good start. And Jason, before you ask me, I'm going to say this, I think the Medicine Hat Tigers are the favorites at the Memorial Cup. And it might have been even Steven between them and London.
Yeah.
I think Caden Lidstrom and Andrew Basher returned to the Tigers lineup, and I think that's enough to put them in the favorite category.
But it's close, man. I know Oiler fans will be watching. Tell us about Sam O'Reilly and, that trade, Craig, last year at the draft is looking like, a fantastic move, because the Oilers right now, the best pick they'll get is 30th. And, you look at Sam O'Reilly, it's going to be hard pressed for this year's 30th overall pick to be as good as Sam O'Reilly.
You're right. And what I would say about Sam and about the Oilers and last year when they made that move, listen, I'm a big believer that if you see a player that you want and you really believe in, get after them. And that's exactly what the Oilers did last year. And, you don't think about it in terms of, oh yeah, it's a 32nd pick, because they made the trade with, who did they make the trade with? It wasn't with Florida. They made it, who had the pick?
I don't even remember, to be honest.
Neither do I. But it was a 32nd pick. Yeah. But if you like a player and you get after him, get after that player. And that's exactly what the Oilers did. So now when you ask me about Sam O'Reilly is a really strong two-way player. We're third round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We've watched what the Stanley Cup playoffs are about. And so I'm going to take it back to the scouting. When I watch players, and when I was doing it with NHL teams and I do it now, I evaluate players, and obviously you need requisite amounts of skill, but who helps you win? That's the ultimate thing. Who helps you win? Who can play when the grind is the hardest? Who can go the longest? And that, to me, is what you're looking for in players when it comes to the draft. Oh, what about skating? What about this? You know what? Tell me first about his will, because will is a skill. And Sam O'Reilly has lots of will. A really strong two-way player. He can play on the penalty kill. He can play on the power play. He can play on the wing. He can play in the middle of the ice. He can check. He can score. He can play in different slots. But the one thing you need to know about Sam O'Reilly, outside of really good skills and really strong hockey sense, he's a competitor. He's in it to win it.
Yeah, it was Philadelphia who the Oilers made that trade with.
Philadelphia, that's right. Yeah.
So
thanks.
There you go. Well, I had to look it up. I couldn't remember, but I wanted to know the answer. Gavin McKenna missed a few games. He's healthy now. So we obviously have London, and you have the Medicine Hat Tigers, but also you got two teams from Quebec. And I love the fact, Craig, like it's rare that the host team's in the final, the other team. So you got you got the four best teams really. You can argue in the country right now because the two best in Quebec are there and the best in Ontario and the best in the Western. It doesn't always happen.
No, it doesn't always happen that way. But and when you're looking to host a Memorial Cup, you want to make sure that you can have that clairvoyance with respect to saying, okay, we think our team is going to be really good. Because when you get the Memorial Cup, it's not till another year that you're actually going to go on the ice with that team. And Rimouski knew they had a good team when they were making the bid. The plan was to move forward. Moncton had also made a bid for the Memorial Cup for this year. It was awarded to Rimouski. And so you have a team like Moncton that knew they were building towards this, Rimouski that was building towards this. And they were the two best teams in the Quebec League. They just weren't the final. I would have been very surprised if they weren't the two teams that were going to be in the final. I would have been very, very surprised. And they were, because they were the best teams in the Quebec League. And they're different. They're different though. Rimouski, and I use this line, the whole is greater than the sum of their parts. They play really well as a team. They don't have the star power of Moncton or Medicine Hat or London, but they're a team. They're a cohesive team that plays together. And they've had some injuries. They've had injuries where they've had to find a way to win games without some really good players. And that not only gives you the belief that you can win games without some of your best players, it also gives other players a chance to show, hey, I get an opportunity here. I can step in and help the team win. That's what Rimouski has. Moncton's a really good team. Gardner McDougall, we all know that his record of winning is pretty much unparalleled in this country with respect to at every level. He just wins. He's won a Memorial Cup being parachuted in for the St. John Sea Dogs a couple of years ago. What he did at the U18, what he did at UNB, and certainly now stepping into Moncton and trying to help them win a Memorial Cup. But really, really, really high-end talent here going into this Memorial Cup. But Rimouski is no pushover. They're a good team.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we look forward to it. It's kind of one game a day. We get rolling, and then we'll have the Memorial Cup Championship next weekend, which is always fun. Now we move to the NHL playoffs. We're down to the Final Four. And Florida is making easy work so far of the Carolina Hurricanes through two games, Greg. Like it's been full marks. Like the scoreboard reflects how those games have gone.
Yeah, no question about it, Jason. And I know that Rod Brindamore after game one said, a couple of chances. Well, good teams make good on their chances, and teams that fall short talk about how they nearly came close. Well, it wasn't close in game two. And I love Paul Maurice. He trolls everybody. He started trolling the Toronto Maple Leafs fans by telling them, well, the pressure they have to face and blah, 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 blah. Now he's telling everybody, Carolina Hurricanes, the scores aren't indicative of the game. They were a lot closer. Paul, we see what we're seeing, and we know what you're doing. Like, let's just cut to the chase here. I said this after game one. I said the Carolina Hurricanes play a relentless, persistent style of game. Well, so do the Florida Panthers. And yet the Florida Panthers are bigger, tougher, more skilled, and deeper than the Carolina Hurricanes. So how the hell can the Carolina Hurricanes win? I think I've summed it up to say your nightly prayers and hope for some kind of intervention from a higher God, because I don't see how Carolina can beat Florida.
No, no chance. I picked Florida before. Now, did I think it would be this much of a blowout through two games? No, but they're full marks for it. Freddie Anderson has come crashing down to earth in this series. That first goal just can't go in after you lose game one. I don't think you can allow that shot from Forsling that early in a game. And, had a few other ones. I know Rod Brindamore said, hey, it wouldn't have mattered who's in goal. We probably still would have lost because the team didn't do anything. Right? Like when your home crowd is shooting and chanting, shoot the puck, things are not going well.
No, you certainly, you do know things aren't going well. And when Rod Brindamore says it wouldn't have mattered who was in the net, he's right, because his team isn't good enough. His team is not. And did I think it would be this lopsided this early? No, but I think that there's clear evidence that Carolina just can't match up. After they'd lost game one of the stats was they'd lost 13 consecutive Eastern Conference final games.
Yeah.
Well, after game 2, it's 14, and I'm not betting against 15, 16.
Yeah. Oh, geez. It would be stunning, really. And that would be 12 straight under Rod Brindamore. I have a question for you, Craig. I look at Carolina. Now, I give him credit. They tried. They got Rantanen. It didn't last. They got him maybe cheaping out on hotel for his girlfriend. Wasn't the best start. But either way, they tried. It didn't work, so they move on. But I look at how they play, Craig. And Carolina, they play one way. That's what everyone tells me. They can only play one. This is how they play. Well, I look at other teams, and some teams will, hey, you know what? We can play offensive if you want. If you want to lock it down, we can. If you want to play physical, we can. What do you make of Carolina? And it's like every year, it's kind of the same story with them. Now, I know they lack a superstar, so maybe it's just that simple. They don't have a finisher, but a lot of times it seems that when push comes to shove, they don't really shove back because they play just a certain relentless style, but it's not overly physical, right? It's not overly quick. It's very much structured. Sounds odd, but
it is structured.
Like, is it?
No, but
is it too much? Like they don't seem to diversify ever and say, God, sometimes we're gonna have to play a different way.
They're also small. Like, small's not going to – listen, they beat a New Jersey Devils team that wasn't very good. Okay, They're missing Jack Hughes, right? The Washington Capitals had a lot of great opportunities. Freddie Anderson was great in that second-round series versus the Capitals. And the Capitals looked a little bit slower in that series. And when you're playing a really good, quick team like the Carolina Hurricanes, you can run into problems. But it wasn't like Carolina overwhelmed the Washington Capitals. They got on the right side of it, and deservedly so. They can't, in my view, they can't get on the right side here. Because as I said earlier, Florida plays every bit as relentless. They play every bit as fast. They play every bit as tenacious, and they have more skill, more size, more depth. How do you beat that? So, like the Carolina Hurricanes, I think we always tip our hat to them, and we should. They've been a really good regular season team. They're well coached by Rod Brindamore. We know what they are, but when you run up against a team like the Florida Panthers or teams in the past where they just don't have enough to get past them. And until that changes, until they recognize that they need a little more weight and a little bit more size, the same thing's going to continue to happen to them unless I said they get a falling star from the sky.
Craig Button joins us. Craig, we moved to the orders and the stars tonight. Game 2. Man, Edmonton after the first 40 minutes would be, geez, we really like how we're playing. And then the wheels fell off. They took 2 penalties. They couldn't kill a penalty to save their life. And their power play didn't get a shot. And it's like, good night, Irene. The Oilers, though, like, I don't think they're that nervous about, because they really controlled the game. So to me, it's like, hey, be more disciplined. But their special teams, they got to improve. Their power play, started out good against LA, but it has not been good. They're only 2 for the last 14. And the one goal they scored, they got a real lucky break, bounced off a stick, found Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard, I was looking in their last 4 games, Craig. Their shot, just on the power play alone, their shot totals are basically cut in half. And I know that you don't have to have high volume all the time from your blue line, but when you have a guy who can shoot the puck as well as Bouchard, he has no shots on goal in the last 4 games on the power play. Draisaitl has 2. The Hyman-Perry connection had 10 shots combined in the first 8 games. They have 1 in the last 4. Like, Edmonton's power play is just not generating enough shots.
Yeah, I don't know what I can add to that, because you've nailed it, right? So if you're not going to shoot the puck, right, there's 2 things that happen when you don't shoot the puck. Number one is that you don't get, when the puck gets directed to the net, and this is what I mean by shoot, you turn around defenders. And once the puck goes to the net, defenders have to turn around and look at their net, which gives you a chance to come in there, what I call hunting pucks, and looking for second opportunities. And secondly to that is that now you're able to put more stress on the defenders. You're able to open up more ice. You retrieve a puck off of a shot, and now you get to regroup. And when you have the skill that the Oilers have with McDavid and Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and Bouchard, and those guys, I named those 5 guys, they can quickly see chaos and take advantage of it. But when you don't shoot the puck, you're losing multiple things. So they got to get back to shooting the puck, and getting the puck directed in towards the net is just as important. And excuse me, one of the things we talked about, I never get worried about a power play not going in the playoffs. I get really worried about a penalty kill, because when your penalty killing isn't going good, you're giving up goals, which means you got to go find goals. That's a problem right now for the Oilers.
Craig Button joins us. The penalty kill, Craig, that is, it's been an issue, and it's not like it's one issue. And here's one, though, that I looked at. So I looked it up today and wrote down block shots from defensemen. Last year, you had Vincent Desharnais, you had Ekholm and Ceci. Now, those guys are all gone from the penalty kill, and I think that does make a big difference, no question. Plus, no team was ever going to go as good as the Oilers were on the penalty kill historically back-to-back years. It wasn't realistic. But I'm looking at the amount of block shots. They had 44 block shots in 25 playoff games last year from their back end. This year, the Darnell Nurse leads them with 5. Kulak has 3. Josh Brown has 3, and he only played 1 game. He only played 2 minutes. Like, their back end isn't blocking shots. Is that too simple, or do they just need guys to get in the shooting lane more?
Well, it's both those things. If you don't, if you don't get into the shooting lane, you're not going to block shots. And if you don't get into the shooting lane, you're not going to be able to make your opponent think about doing something different. So getting in the shot lane is the first thing to blocking a shot. We know that good penalty killing, it requires good positioning, getting in the shot lane, and then being ready to commit to blocking shots. I go back to the Vegas game. I believe it was, I forget what game it was. It might have been game 2. And Vegas is pushing late in the game, and Victor Arvidsson comes out of nowhere. It's like a kick-safe block shot off the skate. You're not seeing enough of that from the Edmonton Oilers on the penalty kill. The Edmonton Oilers penalty kill is 62%. That is not going to get it done. And when you take the penalties, the 2 penalties that they took, which were not very good penalties, but give Dallas a little bit of credit, because at that point in time, the Oilers did control the game. And then Dallas started to push a little more and initiate and skate a little bit more. And on those 2 penalties by Kulak and Kane, they're on the wrong side because you weren't skating. So if I'm Chris Knobloch, I'm saying a few things. Number one, our discipline. We got to skate. We take an extra step, get there, so we don't put ourselves in a vulnerable position. And when it comes back to penalty killing, it's a straight commitment to doing things that hurt. Again, it's who can go the hardest, the longest, and who's ready to pay the price. That's how good penalty kill works.
Craig, what do you make of, because I talked about it yesterday. I was like, I wonder if the Leafs don't replace Brendan Shanahan. Is this a good decision? Because they came out today and said they're not replacing Brendan Shanahan. So were they too top heavy? Is this a smart move, not replace them? Bad move? What do you think?
Yeah, I think every situation requires consideration of something different. When Brendan Shanahan came in as president, he was tasked with overseeing and oversight for a change in culture and a significant change in the Toronto Maple Leafs. Put a big check mark beside his name because he did exactly that. And then he understood that, okay, we need a little bit. When he brought in Kyle Dubas, his plan and his goal was very clear. He wanted somebody to mentor Kyle Dubas so Kyle Dubas could eventually take over. So he brings in Lou Lamoriello, and now he can do that, and then he puts in Kyle Dubas. So I think that the process that Brendan undertook at that point in time was one that required a president of hockey operations to go from there. This is different because Brad Treliving has a lot of experience, and having been a manager with the Calgary Flames and now having a feel 2 years in Toronto, he's got a real strong feel. I don't know what a president of hockey operations is going to do in Toronto. What I would say is it's up to Brad now to change the composition of the team, and with an idea that we're going to change the outcomes and the fortunes of this team come playoff time. I don't know if you need a president of hockey operations to do that. In fact, I don't think you do. It's on if you're going to bring somebody in as president of hockey operations, then have the same person be the GM. I think it's under Brad's domain now to go and make the changes and do what needs to be done.
So that leads me to the New York Islanders. They hire Matthew Darsh today as the GM and executive vice president of the Islanders, and there's talk that they're talking with Brendan Shanahan. Like, if you're going to hire the GM and VP of vice president. Like, would you hire the president after you hire him? Doesn't it seem like an odd hiring timeline?
It's odd unless you've been upfront about what you were going to do.
Okay.
Right? Like maybe Matthew Darch is full on board, with respect to, hey, here's what we're thinking of doing. And hey, if you're upfront about it and you say, hey, Matthew, we've talked about you becoming the GM. You were never going to be president of hockey operations, but now Brendan Shanahan's coming here. He's got a lot of experience. Might benefit you now to have somebody like Brendan, there. He's got these years of experience under his belt. Is that a deal breaker? And Matthew, I would imagine, would say, no, I want good people around me. So, but if you're going to blindside Matthew Darch, you got a big problem. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was interviewing in Calgary, Lanny McDonald was part of the interview process, and I have a ton of respect for Lanny. And one of the questions I asked Lanny is one of the things I got a chance to ask Fred. I said, one of the things that's always puzzled me, Lanny, is why you haven't been involved in hockey operations. Because I think you have a lot of experience. I think you can do that. And we had a good chat about it. And I was going to have him be part of the hockey operations. That's how strongly I felt about it if I got the job. Well, I got the job. The day I was being introduced for the job, I was informed that Lanny was resigning.
What?
And yeah. And that day, I had to stand at the dais while Lanny McDonald was in the crowd because he's such a great Calgary Flame and an iconic figure for the Calgary Flames. And people were asking me about Lanny McDonald being part of the hockey ops. I was blindsided.
Yikes. Like, why didn't they tell you he was resigning?
I have no idea.
Or did he want the job and when he didn't get it, he resigned? I
never had the sense of that from Lanny.
Oh, okay.
I never had the sense of that. So your question is fair, but I never got that sense from Lanny. Why would Lanny be part of the GM interview process if he wanted to be the GM?
Yeah, fair point. Very fair point. Yeah, that would seem
But
odd.
I give you that example, but to me, I was blindsided.
Yeah.
I don't think John Collins would do that to Matthew Darch.
Okay. I like it.
That's just me. That's me. I mean, but I don't know if I've ever told you this, Jason, but my wife always says that if I had another name, it would be Paulie Anna.
Nice. Craig, have yourself an awesome weekend at the Memorial Cup. We'll talk to you next week.
We will. Hey, listen, the Edmonton Oilers played a great game for the first two periods. Discipline, if you're disciplined, you don't have to worry about the penalty kill right now. And if they go take those first two periods of game one and apply them for 3 periods here, it'll be 1-1 coming back to Edmonton.
Yeah, I probably tend to agree with you. But the great part about the game is it's not that easy to replicate what you did in the previous one, for sure. Craig, always good to talk to you, my man. Have a great week.
Yeah, great to talk to you. Have a great weekend.
That's Craig Button from TS. And joining us from the Memorial Cup. We'll return football here. We'll get some talk about just the pressures of sports when you got one chance, baby. One chance to make an impression. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Next Tuesday is Ben Stelter's birthday, and on Tuesday, all proceeds from sales at Popeye's are going to the Ben Stelter Foundation in honor of Ben. Head to Popeye's to support an amazing local foundation until June 3rd.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Continue on. Positive Friday. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hope you're having an awesome day. Big plans for the weekend. You got 2 games. The Oilers tonight. You got the Oilers on Sunday afternoon. You also have the Elks going at it. They are on the road. Preseason action for them. The Edmonton Stingers, who picked up a big win last night for the Stingers. They've had a lot of close games, but now they are 1-2 and are only what's their point differential? I think they're -2. They lost by 2, lost by 3, and won by 3. And they're taking on the Bandits in Langley tomorrow night, and then they'll be home next Wednesday at the Expo Center. Got a few games Wednesday and Friday, in fact, next week. So, and hey, good for them. So the Stingers, they kind of lucked out really with the Oilers playoff schedule, because the Oilers will play Tuesday, then the Stingers are playing Wednesday, the Oilers play Thursday, Stingers play Friday. So that's a good little break for them, for sure. A lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, I've seen teams dare McDavid to shoot, and he still seems to be forcing passes. He needs to take the shot between the circles. They're giving it to him. Yeah, Joey, I totally would agree with you. And here's the funny thing. I agree that he needs to shoot more, but guess what? In the last 4 games, he has the most power play shots on the team. Now, it's only 4, right? Because Bouchard has none. Draisaitl has 2. The Hyman-Perry combination has 1. Nugent-Hopkins has 3. So I would agree with you. Yes, I'd like to see him shoot a little bit more, especially when he comes across. And right now, and I understand it, there's lots of scouting. We had Stephen Valiquette on our show explain to people what the Royal Road was. So if you want to visualize, the bar in the back of the net, right in the middle of the goal net. So if you take a line from there and you go all the way up to the high slot, right, even to the blue line, whatever, that road right in the middle, that's what they call the Royal Road. And your chances of scoring when you pass the puck from one side to the other, which forces the goalie to move, or if you carry it from one side to the other, your chances increase to score. Now, I think the Oilers at times I've noticed lately, they got the puck right in the middle. They're bearing down on a guy. Oh, we're going to pass it across. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But what about just shooting the puck sometimes? Because I've seen him in the slot area with good looks. And geez, we got to pass it because, the numbers are better. You know what the numbers are better at? When you shoot the puck on net. You got a better chance of scoring than when you pass it and you don't get a shot. I can tell you, you'll never score then if you pass it and you don't get a shot away. So that obviously hasn't been ideal yet. But yes, would I like to see McDavid shoot the pill a little bit more? 1,000%. 1,000%. I think he can shoot better. There's no difference. Hey, Gregor, not getting in the shooting lane and screening the goalie is an issue. Well, I don't know if the Oilers, I know people were freaking out about the Heiskanen goal. That, but if you look at it, the Oilers actually, the defense, you had Skinner up high, not Skinner, you had Stetcher up high. Janmark's supposed to take the shot block off the side. He doesn't get perfectly in the lane, right? Because if he leans over to his right instead of his left, he's blocking it. Stetcher's kind of in the mid slot, not screening. Now, would you want Nurse to move around the defenseman? Sure, but I think people have to understand, if you watch most defensemen on the penalty kill, a lot of them now don't engage the guy as much as they would 5-on-5. They're like, you know what? I don't want to get into a battle with him and tie him up because now I can't get my stick loose. I can't cover a pass. They don't do it very often. So it's almost like teams like, hey, you know what? We'll stand there beside him. Sure, you try to push him out of the way, but you don't see guys hammering on guys in front of the net anymore, 5-on-4. And watch Dallas tonight. Watch their penalty kill. Watch Hyman and Perry in front of the net. Watch what happens. It's some now they're like, you know what? We're not going to waste one of our penalty killers engaging in a battle that much in front. They just don't. So now maybe there are some teams that do. I'd have to watch closer, but I've seen a lot of teams and there's not many who do it anymore. Guys, McDavid always seems to win the most accurate shooter, and the skills doesn't want to shoot. Well, now skills are when no one's around you, but he is very accurate. And hey, Connor McDavid showed everybody when he scored 64 goals that if he wants to shoot, he can shoot the pill. There's no question in my mind. So, and the thing about McDavid is he usually will figure it out. It's not like he's playing poor. Like, he had 2 assists. I thought he played really well in that game. And the thing was, on their last power play, they didn't even get set up. There was never a chance where he had a chance to shoot the puck and opted not to. They just didn't shoot the puck. They didn't actually get a shot because they didn't really have much setup time. That last power play might have been their worst power play in 5 games. As far as getting set up, moving around, forcing the penalty kill into an uncomfortable situation, didn't happen. So as bad as the penalty kill is, because here's the numbers. And I crunched them for everybody because, hey, if we're going to talk about something, I think it's important to have the research to back it up. So I was looking at teams in the salary cap era because I think it's, if we talk about stuff that happened in the 80s and 90s, I'm not sure it's relevant. The game has changed. The players have changed. Lots has changed, right? The salary cap has made it less likely of having dominant teams. Obviously, they're still really good teams. Don't get me wrong, but usually they're not as dominant as we saw the Islanders to the Oilers, the Canadians, right? Like you had like 3 teams over a 20-year period that were winning the vast majority: the Flyers, the Oilers, the Islanders, right? And then the Penguins, of course, came in the early 90s. They were winning. Then you had, for a stretch there, it was either New Jersey, Detroit, Colorado, Dallas. No one else was winning because they spend boatloads of money, right? It's kind of how it was. So I looked at it since 2006. Only 4 teams have been below 81% on the penalty kill. The 2015 Blackhawks, the 18 Capitals, the 19 Blues, and the 23 Golden Knights. Now here, though, is where, that's one stat. But then I look and say, okay, how was their special teams overall, their power play goal for to their PK goal against differential? The Blackhawks, even though they were 79 in the penalty kill, they were still +2 overall. Washington was +4 because their power play was unreal. Now, the Blues were -4, but not only was their penalty kill or their power play not good, they also allowed 4 shorties. So it was a terrible mix. So they were the outlier. Vegas was -2, pretty close. So it didn't crush them, even though they were 71%. Right? They scored enough power play goals. They didn't actually take many penalties. They just were terrible at killing them off. The Oilers currently are -7. They've scored 7 power play goals, but they've allowed 14. It's just not a trend historically that leads to success. So, and the Oilers power play, if you look at their overall number, you're like, okay, they're 26%. Not bad with 25.9. Sure. But dig deeper. Most of that comes from comes from the LA Kings series. Because since then, the Oilers have only gone 2 for 14 on the power play. And you had the one Corey Perry goal, which is a deflection goal off of Bouchard's shot. And then you had the lucky one last game where McDavid's pass hits off of one Dallas stick, maybe 2, finds because the pass was going to Corey Perry. Then he finds Nugent Hopkins. He's wide open in the slot. Boom. Great shot by Nuge. But the Oilers power play, for me, if their penalty kill struggling, well, power play's got to pull up their socks even more. Obviously, the penalty kill has to get better. Like Captain Obvious here. We all know it. It's brutal. It's 62%. Now, if you're looking for a positive on the penalty kill, it's that it's gotten better later in the series. LA had 7 power play goals in the first 3 games. 7. Then they didn't score after that. Vegas, they scored in the first 2 games. Even though the Oilers won the first 2 games, Vegas went 3 for 7 on the power play. Then didn't score. So they did get better. Now, 3 for 4 in game 1, not good for Dallas's power play. So Edmonton has shown they can figure it out, but you can't guarantee that. They've just, to me, their penalty kill is going to have to wake up here. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to have to wake up. Let's take a quick break. We'll get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on now at GMC. You can get 0% financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. See more at gmccanada.ca. Here's Connor Halley.
The sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers and Stars. Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. This one gets going just after 6 o'clock. We've got pregame coverage for you with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson starting at 5. Connor Brown didn't practice today, but is good to go in the lineup. And the New York Islanders expected to hire Matthew Darche as the team's 7th general manager in franchise history. He spent the last 6 seasons as director of hockey ops with the Tampa Bay Lightning. In the association tonight, you got Pacers Knicks meeting at MSG. Tip off at 6. Pacers leading that series 1-0. And in the majors, Jays down in Tampa for a weekend series with the Rays. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. Memorial Cup gets going tonight with the host Rimouski Oceanic taking on the WHL champion Medicine Hat Tigers. Puck drop 5 o'clock in that one. Over the weekend, you got Stingers basketball. They're in Vancouver tomorrow, taking on the Bandits. Tip off at 8. The Elks also kicking off their preseason at 7:30 down in Calgary, taking on the Stampeders. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Wanye Gretz of Oilers Nation. We'll also hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and bring in former Edmonton Oiler Mark Letestu. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job, sir. The men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle,
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks, whichever you always give it OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? It is game day on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. Get a free play when you sign up. Hey, you know what? You get a new one every month. That's great. Or if you're a first timer, just check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Also, it's Friday. You know what that means? The Max Millions, $40 million. Tonight, get your tickets. Could you imagine? You win that and the Oilers win? Woo! Jeez. Might have to track you down somewhere and, maybe you'll be Katy Perry and you'll just pay your way to space. Who knows? Probably not, though, because the space trip cost her a lot of seats at her concerts. Concerts aren't even selling out. They're moving them all over the place. Denver moved them. The Stars moved them. So it's been a tough go for the faux astronaut.
Doesn't it feel like you live in the distant future when you're saying Katy Perry's trip to space cost her concert series? Don't you feel like you're living in the year 3000?
Well, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. So, that there's people that are rich people that are deluded. They don't understand. Oh, I can't believe people weren't excited about this. Just like, oh, this is a big step for women. What are you talking about? You did nothing. How does this help? Like women were saying, what are you talking about? She didn't work hard to get there. It has nothing to do with being an astronaut. How about take women who are training to be astronauts? That would have actually helped it better.
I think it shows we're on the edge of a new space age where normal people will be going to space in our lifetime. And that's a significant leap forward. Yeah. The fact that you don't have to be a PhD, 30-year trained astronaut to go to space now.
I know.
That's a big threshold.
We got a lot of problems on this earth. How about we fix those? That would just be my own.
Going to space will develop technology to fix a lot of your problems.
Will it, though? I don't think so. I think the biggest problem in our system is the rich keep getting richer and richer, and the gap is more, and the middle-aged people are struggling way more than ever before.
What about Velcro? We invented Velcro because of space.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Velcro has really changed anybody's life for the benefit, other than if you have a kid and they're very little and they can put their shoes on quicker.
That's
nice. About it. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. Now, and then, of course, as you get older, some people are like, hey, give me some Velcro shoes, man. I don't want to tie my shoes anymore. So, sure.
You have the space race to thank for that.
No, really. I did not know that going to space helped us with Velcro.
So it's because the astronaut costumes. In
so
a
they can
weightless
rip
environment.
them off quicker?
Weightless environment. No gravity. Velcro works in no gravity.
Oh, I just thought strippers started it.
Wow.
Or the track and field people. Tearaways.
You think the strippers got together and had an R&D
like,
group?
What's going to be better here? Like the male strip guys.
Wow.
Right? They're the ones who seem to use it more. Like, why not? Let's go.
Known for bringing products to market.
Yes, exactly. Right? Magic Mike. Thought it was a real guy. Guess it wasn't. We got a lot of tech. People are fired up today in Positive Friday. You know what I've noticed, though? There's not a lot of consternation on the text lines today at 833-401-1440, RUL inbox, regarding the orders. There's not a lot of people say, oh, my God. Like, when they were down 2-0 to the Kings, even 1-0, it was like the sky is falling. The orders are done. There's not much of that. There's actually hardly any. I don't think I've received one text from people. Now, I know some guy will do it to be funny, but we haven't received one text of somebody saying the orders are done. They can't win. Not at all. More people are, hey, does their power play need to shoot more? Yes. Can their penalty kill be a little bit better? Yes. But I think when you look at the orders, and they're 8-2 in their last 10 games, and one game they lost by an own goal with 0.4 seconds left. And the other game they lost by an awful third period. Well, really an awful 7-minute period is what happened. They gave up 3 goals on the power play in 5 minutes and 26 seconds, which was pretty awful. I'd have to look it up if that was the most, is that the most power play goals in the shortest period of time in a playoff game? I might have to ask my buddy at the NHL, because that's got to be close for the orders. 3 power play goals in a span of 5:26, where none of them were on a major penalty. That would be the caveat. It was all separate penalties.
I can feel both those losses on my soul, and I don't think you feel the 8 wins the same way. And don't you think, when you're watching comments and social media, the losses stick with you much longer than the wins do?
Well, for social media, because that's where people like to complain. But I think a lot of people, they're riding high after the Vegas series. They're like, man, this is unreal. They won in 5. They had back-to-back shutouts. They had days off. People were pretty jacked. So I would say, I think if you ask fans, I think they were more excited about the back-to-back shutouts and dispatching Vegas that quickly than they were about a bad 20 minutes. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I would think.
Those first 2 periods were impressive hockey in game 1.
Hey, Wanya, it's not true. Velcro was made in 1940, well before the space race.
Is that right? Is that
from Lance?
You
You know what? Let's look up Velcro. When was it was invented? In 1947.
By the military?
By Swiss engineer George de Mestral, who was inspired by burrs from burdock plants that he noticed clinging to his clothes and his dog's fur during a walk in the woods. When he initially conceived the idea, Velcro was not commercially introduced until the late 50s. So while the invention was inspired by a walk, it wasn't officially patented and commercially available until later.
Aha.
But not after the space race, like 47. Right? So it wasn't commercially available until 50.
Well, really what I was saying. Well, yes. No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So
at one point,
Switzerland,
the missile game turned into the space race.
Yeah, you're just trying to change here. Just admit that it's not really that beneficial to the average.
It's super
person.
beneficial.
Nah,
what about Teflon?
Yeah.
Teflon's because of the space race. That's for sure.
No, come on.
It is because it was the nose cone of the rocket shielding, so you didn't burn up in space. They developed Teflon. That's for sure.
Teflon was discovered by Roy J. Plunkett of the DuPont Company's Jackson Laboratory in 1938, and it was an accidental invention. So that's what he told his audience. So there you go. It was now, whereas the corrosion resistance property, then and later on they used it. So there you go, buddy.
Yeah, we're learning.
We are.
This is Positive Friday.
So you're 0 for 2. You want to strike out?
No, I'm not 0 for 2.
Well, Teflon wasn't invented for the space race.
Used in the space race.
Okay, well, used.
Okay, but a lot.
Sure.
If you're a space race and you need stuff, you're
Is
not
it
like
really a race
You're
anymore?
not. Well, not anymore. But you're maybe against like the Chinese and the Japanese. Chinese are putting people in orbit. Anyways, you don't go, oh, we need something, then hope somebody invents it the next morning. You're looking for what's available on the cutting edge and using it for the space race. So most of the stuff's going to exist. There's just no applications for it.
This guy think he's Donald Trump. He just keeps saying things that have absolutely no base to them.
I do not. I do not.
Oh, that's actually a funny text. Funny text. Hey guys, what about the orders on the penalty kill lately? They're on a 2-on-1 and they keep trying to force the pass. Oh, Jeff, buddy, you're reading my mind because that was actually something I want to talk about. We've seen it, Janmark and Connor Brown. 2-on-1s. And hey, I get the odds, but you know what? The odds are 0 when you don't get a shot. You never score when you don't get a shot off. Even if you direct it at the net and it's missing the net and it hits something, it goes in. But when you come in on a 2-on-1 and then you force the pass across and the defender gets his puck on a stick on it and it's into the corner, guess what? You just wasted a great chance. And we saw that in the Dallas game. Connor, I'm like, man, rip it. Walk in and rip it. So, yeah, I think that's a totally valid thing. We've seen them. They're trying to overpass. And I get the odds. But the odds are lower when you never get a shot. So you better make sure that pass is going to make it, or you're better off to shoot. So much, much better. Hey, boys, I feel like we all took the time to sit down and wait for our kids to tie their shoes. I wish now I had 2 great boys, and I wish to go back and take more time with them, all grown up from nails. Yeah, well, the kids, when they're little, they can't tie their shoe yet. So that's where the Velcro comes in sometimes. But yeah, hey, you know what? Tying shoes. I remember with my son, we would just, because, gets impatient, doesn't want to learn. I'm like, buddy, we got all day here. I'm in no rush. Right? Because it's right. The parents are like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, no. You are the parent are at fault here. You waited and then expected a youngster who's tied their shoes 3 times to be able to do it in 30 seconds. That's your parenting flaw, not your kids. So take the time and plan ahead. Hey, if we have to leave at 1:15, start shoe tying at 1:05.
That's a good window. 15 minutes, 7.5 per shoe.
It's about it, right? Because they'll get frustrated, right? They don't want to do it. Right? And nowadays in our society, because most of us are more impatient than ever. It's like, quick, I got to go, I got to see everything. And they do all the psychology studies on the fact that, now kids, you're online, it's just like zoom. Your attention span's lower. The kid's like, I can't tie my shoe. And then the parent does it for them. And now we're hurting our kids.
We're not supposed to tie their shoe?
No, you got to let them fight through it, deal with adversity, figure it out, walk away. The best thing to do is walk away. Like my son now he's a little bit older, but the more things, and rather than say, no, do this, I just say, you got to do it. And I walk out of the room because it's not like I'm asking him to light the fireplace where he can burn himself. But there's things like, hey, fold your clothes properly. No, I don't know how to fold the clothes. Well, like even making his bed, like the fitted sheet, like I wish I had a recording outside his room of him talking to himself, getting rattled while he's trying to put on his fitted sheet. God, I was dying. Right now he knows how to do it. But when he was like 9 and we were getting him to, hated it. Hated it. It's so funny.
Wanya Jr. is 4. What's an appropriate level of leaving him alone at age 4? Like, he does need more assistance than a 9-year-old.
Well, it depends what he's doing.
Well, he generally needs help with most things.
Kids can do more than we think, but we as parents are like, oh my God, he's got to do it right the first time. Oh, geez, if he fails, he's gonna be a failure. The problem is we don't want our kids to fail now, so that actually hurts them because they don't know how to deal with failure later. Because guess what? They get into the real world, their boss, they fail. Hey, dumbass. Red's like, hey, you got to figure it out. So I just let your kids struggle. It's okay. They'll figure it out.
You think I honestly run a tight ship at the old Wanya Manor, Gregor? Come on
not
now.
at all.
I let the man make his decisions. He's 4. He can decide. If he demands help, I won't. But if he asks politely,
Sure.
I'll help him. That's the rules in our house. As long as you're asking politely, you can pretty much get the run of the place.
Hey, boys, Gregor, I read your article about Stuart Skinner, and his numbers are quite surprising to me. 5 really bad games. The other 24 are pretty solid. What can he do to get rid of the bad 5 ones? Well, everybody's going to have a bad game, right? So that's going to happen. The defense has it. The forwards have it. Everybody's going to have a bad game. That position, it does get noticed more. So I will say that. However, when I look at Stuart Skinner, and last game, to me, that was more of a mental focus. It's not technical. It's not where all of a sudden Stuart Skinner doesn't know how to look around the screen. He's never taught to be like, okay, we practice every day. Don't look around the screen. And then he doesn't look around the screen. Everyone's like, I can't believe he didn't look around the screen. They work on that. So in a moment, it's just like a defenseman. They know where they're supposed to pass the puck. And sometimes they pass it up the middle, even though they know they're not supposed to if there's somebody oncoming, right? We know it. Mistakes happen. But when one mistake happens, you got to be able to reset quicker. And so to me, I think it's more of a mental thing with Skinner sometimes in games when all of a sudden maybe one goes, now they're, the Granlund shot, which is a great shot. I saw people complaining about it. I'm like, what are you go watch that replay of that shot. And I think Joaquin Gage had it. That's a perfectly placed shot for today's goalies who all go into the butterfly. Okay. So the shooters know if I can hit that top 3 inches, I'm scoring. It's just how it is. Now, to hit it regularly is pretty hard. So the goalies play the odds. Guy makes a good shot. Sometimes you live with it, right? Especially when Granlund was able to walk in, right? That's what you want. But then the 4th goal, that's the one to me where he looked like he just lost focus. There was a little bit of contact, and now he's looking at the ref. Don't look at the ref. Look at the puck, right? Because Duchesne's first shot hit his own guy. He actually got a second chance. And if Skinner would have been in position, he probably stops it. So I think it's a little bit of a mental stuff. I don't think it's that physical for Stuart Skinner. We know what his weaknesses are. Every goalie has a weakness. So if the Oilers limit chances off the rush, they're better. Stuart Skinner's better. That's a fact. And they've done that. So, and Skinner, back-to-back shutouts, made a breakaway save on Barbashev, made another good save on McNabb, so he did his job. Now today is a game where he can't go from game 1 to game 2 against LA. Can't do it, right? The history and the odds are grossly against you. Doesn't mean it's impossible. They're just grossly against you if the Oilers and Skinner have a stinker tonight. So he's got to find a way. And if one goal goes in that you don't like, it can't turn into 2 or 3. And that's when you look at because in 5 playoff games, he allowed 25 goals. In the other 24, he allowed 51. It's a pretty significant difference, right? 5 games, 25 goals against, 24 games, 51 goals against, which is 2.14. That's great. It's very solid. So you can't have the low be 5 games where he averages 798 save percentage. Right now, you can't. Now, hey, we saw Connor Halley do it, so yeah, it's possible. Even the best ones do it. But Skinner, that's the element of his game, and that probably is going to be the hardest thing is to not have the mental lapse. And I think that's maybe a bigger issue because I didn't see a lot of physical, misplays in that game from Skinner. Right now, I guess the first one, he looked one way, you get the other one. Okay. Probably thought Janmark was going to get the screen, which he probably should have blocked the shot there. He's right there. But either way, Skinner he called himself out right after the game. I can't get caught looking the wrong way there, right? Like we know where Heiskanen is. He's not going to shoot far side because lots of the way teams actually play this for goalies, and we've talked to goalies about it, right? Calvin Pickard on our show said, and Mike Smith, I remember him saying, hey, man, when I'm on the penalty kill, if I know where the shots are coming from and they're guys, I'm just going to play. The guy's taking out the far shot. They're not going to have a back door. I'm not going to worry about it because you can't cover everything on the penalty kill. So when you know that, so Skinner, when you're playing that angle from Heiskanen, if Heiskanen wants to shoot to the far side, you say, well, there's all the traffic in front. The odds of him giving a shot through there are way lower than the odds of him beating me short side, which is where he got beat. So I think that's one where, you know what, not the best read by it. There was a lot of mistakes on that penalty kill. He was one of them. But I think for Skinner, a little bit more consistent mental focus, and he'll be fine. Quick break. When we return, we'll hear more from Chris Knobloch. Also, Mark Letestu joining us next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Hey campers, Brent Fullerton from Carefree RV. If you're looking to make this year's camping season just a little extra Canadian, we have you covered. We carry travel trailers and motorhomes that are Canadian built by great companies like ProLite and Road Trek. Come see our selection in store or online and keep it Canadian at carefreerv.ca.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer.
Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, it's a Friday, rolling through. Jason Gregor, Wanya Gretzka, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. You were doing more research. You want to
I get to say it?
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT, what is the link between Velcro and NASA? First, I said good afternoon so that it likes me when the revolution comes. It said, it's a fascinating example of how space exploration can drive innovation and influence everyday life. What? I said. It said, while NASA didn't invent Velcro, it was invented by your Swiss fellow. NASA's use of it helped catapult it into widespread commercial use and cement its place in modern history. So it did exist
before, but it wasn't.
They needed
really
it for the
that
astronauts.
Yes.
They needed it for the spacesuits,
All right.
man.
Okay, so kind of right. All right.
I went to the Space Science Center with a 4-year-old, and while he was running around, I was absorbing information. I said, shoot, Velcro's from the space race?
Mm-hmm. So it made it more popular. It just wasn't invented for.
Well, it gave it a use.
Yeah, sure. Well, other than to pick up things that stick to you while you're walking through the woods.
But prior to that point, it didn't do anything. It existed, perhaps, but nobody used it.
Yes.
Because you're like, why wouldn't I just use a button? It's the 1940s. It's crazy times.
Mm-hmm. Well, who knew? Like, just think about the warm-up pants, right? Like Declan walks around those all the time. His life would be totally ruined if he didn't have Velcro.
With buttons.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you can't rip the buttons off. Is cool. That's for sure. Our next guest, I don't know if he's a fan of Velcro or not. We'll find out as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League. Of course, they are expanding for young girls, 12U, 14U, and now a 16U division. With the expansion of the PWHL, need more opportunity for young women to play sports, and they'll do it in the Female Super League.com. As a former Edmonton owner, Mark Letestu joins us. Mark, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, although not a huge fan of Velcro currently. I can't wait till I'm old enough to acceptably have Velcro shoes again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like that's the life cycle. When you're little, you have them, and then you don't, and then all of a sudden you graduate later on, and it's like, oh, now I'm in my 60s or 70s, and I can use Velcro, and no one judges me. So,
exactly.
Now, what about? Did you never had any like Velcro throwaway pants that would use in warm up and then quickly take off to get dressed?
No Velcros. They were snaps, and those were dangerous in middle and high school. So quickly moved away from those, but no Velcro on those for me.
Mark, how do you watch the NHL playoffs now? It's like, being in the league, how do you watch the games?
Well, now that I'm coaching, sometimes it's from a educational standpoint, especially now that there's 4 teams remaining. A lot of the systems, it's a copycat league, so the remaining 4 teams, you're trying to pick up maybe some of the systematic things that teams do, whether it's defensive zone coverage or neutral zone, and then also, from a fan standpoint as well. I married into a family of Oilers season ticket holders, so they're on the TV every other night, and obviously still have some friends on the team, so there's still some fandom, but there is more of a learning eye towards it now.
Right, yeah. And so for anybody who doesn't know, Mark, of course, is assistant coach with the Cleveland Monsters, and that transition, Mark, you mentioned, so you can watch the game, you're learning to see, okay, what they implement here, what are they doing? Like, as you get into coaching, what have you learned about hockey that maybe you didn't know or appreciate as much as a player?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe how much structure matters. As a player, you're so individually focused on your game and how you can contribute to a team. When you start getting at that macro level of trying to, whether it's a group of forwards or a power play or what it is, what structure can provide a group, especially on their B nights or their C nights. Structure sometimes can elevate a team to playing a little bit better, whether it's that cohesion in defensive zone or maybe offensively having some predictability. Because ultimately there are some nights where it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to win 5-0, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to lose 5-0. But it's the nights in between where your structure really helps you get over the hump and hopefully, squeak out a few extra wins or points along the way.
As a guy who played on the power play, a guy who played penalty kill, I remember lots of people who talk about, Mark Letester, pretty smart guy. Like, your intelligence was a big factor of your success. Taking what you see and then explaining it to players, right? Like, it's a skill. It's like, there's lots of smart people, like great players who weren't necessarily great coaches, right? How have you evolved in the communication? And so players, especially at the American League level, lots of guys who are intent, they want to get to the show on kind of, so they understand what you're seeing and what you're saying.
Yeah, for me, there's always a core principle for me, that the why is probably the most important thing. I think it's easy to show what to do and how to do it, but explaining why, for me, seems to get the light bulb to turn on for some guys. And I, fortunate, again, married into season ticket holders of the Oilers, but she's also a 3rd grade teacher. And a lot of the things she uses educationally, there is some crossover, even when it comes to pros and how you communicate and how you implement skills or concepts. So it's funny how much we have a bit of a Venn diagram there, and the correlation and crossover in the middle. So it's good to bounce ideas off her as well. But ultimately, the American League is the lab, and I get to try out some things, communication styles, concepts, and then really see whether it hits or it doesn't. So it's been a fun experience coaching, and one that I wouldn't trade.
Mark, ultimately, is your goal then to be a head coach? And is that something that you yearn to be? Some guys want to be assistants, some guys want to be head coaches. Where do you know yet?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm just kind of enjoying the ride. A little bit of kind of comparatively to when I was a player. Just taking my time in the minors, kind of sharpening, what I think skills can get me to the next level, and whatever role that might be. You never really know what role or when. You just want to be ready for when it comes. So whether that's a head coaching opportunity or an assistant coaching, or whether it's lateral or up or down, we're a little bit nomadic when it comes to coaching, much like playing. So I'm just kind of taking it as we go here.
Mark Letestu joins us here on Sports 1440. Of course, former Oiler alumni, now assistant coach with the Cleveland Monsters, part of the Columbus Blue Jackets organization. And Mark, everybody knows what happened in the organization last year with the unfortunate passing of Johnny Gaudreau, and kind of, the human element at times in sports, like everything's so serious, and I get it, it's a job, but how did that maybe change, even in Cleveland, kind of the feeling and the approach at all this year for the organization?
Well, it was galvanizing, and I think the organization in particular handled it incredibly well with as much class and as much care and understanding for the Gaudreau family. And then that goes beyond Columbus. I mean, Calgary did amazing things. The NHL, even at the international level, at the Four Nations, the U.S. team, and still continuing World Championships. I think it's been really cool. You know, obviously it's a tragedy, but it's been very nice to see how uniting something like that can be, and how our game is kind of more than just a game, and kind of looking out for the people within it. But from the organization standpoint, you could tell it brought them closer together, and maybe some of the things you took for granted as players, maybe they accentuated a little bit more and brought a little bit more passion to their game, and probably had a little bit of an ingredient to why they were a much better team this year.
Mark Lowetide. Mark, we're going to get to the orders in a sec, but I just want to ask you about a few guys locally. Trey Fix-Wolanski, of course, former Edmonton Oil Kings, had some time in the National Hockey League, was your guys' leading scorer last year. Where do you see Trey, and kind of, what would he need to do to get back to the NHL?
Well, and Fixie and I have had a lot of time together. I think it's been, a bit 6 years. I've been with him for 4 now. Trey's probably done as much as he can do at the American League level. His nickname's the franchise for obvious reasons. I think he leads. There's the career leader in all franchise records offensively. And I think Trey's heading for free agency. And I imagine he's going to test it. And, whomever, gets him, they're going to get a special player. As far as Trey getting to that next level, it's that consistent physicality that, initially he's probably going to have to break in as a bottom 6 forward. And he's capable of it. He's more than capable. Keeps his body in great shape. So when he does get that opportunity, I hope he's ready for it. And, I wish him all the best.
And then a young defenseman, Carson Kuhlmans, of course, first-round pick back in 2021. He's now spent 2 years full-time in the American League, which a lot of defensemen like. The American League is a great league, man, and it's a developmental league for sure. Kind of what's the next step for him in his progress?
Well, and unfortunately, Corson got hurt towards the end of the year, pretty bad shoulder injury, and lost half the year. But he finally kind of figured it out, how to be a regular in the lineup on a good team, and was starting to take that next step. And unfortunately, got hurt. But there's the case of a first round pick. Not everybody's trajectory or development is linear, right? There's ups and downs, and I can't remember who said it, but it was along the lines of you need about 300 to 350 professional games before you know what you have in a defenseman. And then I think he's still growing and still figuring out who he is and what he's going to be. And but we're really excited about his path and what he might be for us.
Mark Lowetide join. Now, Mark, I have to ask you, as a guy who was a penalty killer, like the small details, confidence is such a big thing. The Oilers' penalty kill last year is one of the greatest penalty kills, the playoffs have ever seen, right? Like they ended up, because they scored 3 shorthanded goals and they only allowed 4, they actually only -1 the whole turn in 25 games. Like, you're not -1 in 25 games, on a penalty kill normally. So a lot of the same guys up front, but the defense has changed. Desharnais's gone, Cece's gone, Ekholm's injured. How difficult is it to replicate a penalty kill when you change so many different pieces out on the back end?
Well, and sometimes chasing that replication can be a bit of what gets in the way. Last year things went so well, we were doing this, and at times that can get in the way. Every year's a new group, and sometimes there's new, ingredients to the recipe for success. And then, I'm stating the obvious here, but if you can stay out of the penalty box, that makes the penalty kill that much better. If you're going to take upwards of 5 to 7 penalties a game, power plays are just too good, especially when you're talking about the 4 remaining teams in the league. So limiting opportunities, I think, would be key, and then trying to bear down on those. But if you're going to be in the box that consistently, you're just going to wear your guys down. And then, as you said, the little details, the little mistakes, they get amplified this time of year, and exhausted legs tend to make those more often.
And power play, of course, you were on the Oilers power play. McDavid and Draisaitl, you were there when they came in, and you guys had a lot of success. You had a really good power play, and then it kind of became record-breaking power play in Edmonton over time. And those guys, they always seem to figure it out. Like, I know if they go a few games, people always write, "Oh, they figured out the Oilers power play," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, they might do it for 4 games, but it's really hard. And you've been a penalty killer, Mark. Like, you can do all the right things, but they still have an extra guy. And sometimes, if you have skill, there's nothing you can do. But what do you find are the best ways to get their power play off their game?
Well, and the power play is what I'm in charge of in Cleveland. It's something I'm taking care of. And, what I would say with the guys is there's a trust factor. I mean, they've gotten to this point. Again, as you said, they've been consistently in the top part of the league. There's going to be dry spells. Yeah. It's just natural this time of year. But the percentage of the power play in the playoffs does not matter. There is from game to game, from moment to moment, is really what matters. So you go 0 for 6, and that 7th one comes in overtime, you put it in the back of the net. That's all that matters. So there has to be a very, very short memory in the playoffs, whether that's games or whether that's power play opportunities. It's on to the next, because the next one might be the big one. And obviously, as we've seen in recent history, even a 3-1 lead, that 4th goal, you get on the power play, it's got to go in the net. You got to continue to separate yourselves from teams and hopefully stay confident within that group.
Yeah, it is true, and you could go 0 for 6 one game, and then the next game, your power play scores you 2 goals, and you're just like, all right, we're right back at it. It is one where, and you've been through that, and I'm sure you work on it with younger players, is riding that emotional part of it where, okay, we had a bad game or and sometimes, Mark, you might even have a good power play that doesn't score, right? You look and say, God, we're moving the puck. We're doing everything but scoring. Is that harder to accept when you're doing everything well and not scoring rather than, man, we're really fighting it? Which one did you find was harder to overcome?
For me, it was always when you were fighting it. Okay. When you're getting opportunities and you're getting looks, you just know it's going to come. It's going to come. The process is kind of something you're always talking about as a coach. You want to see the right process. You want to see the guys in their right spots. You want to see that attack mentality. You want to see getting second pucks back. And sometimes you run into a hot goaltender. I mean, Jake Ottinger's a hell of a goalie. Some nights he's just going to have you. He's just going to get hit with it enough. But percentages and the math over time says that puck's going to find the back of the net, and you're just hoping it's at a key time.
Mark, what's the feeling in your household of Oilers season ticket holders on what's going to happen in this series?
Well, there's confidence. There's confidence in the group. I think the LA series, everybody had them written off. They go down 2. They come back, and no different than here. It's an unfortunate way to lose, but it's just a game. So it's just a loss. It could be a 1-0 nail biter. It could be a comeback loss. It's just a loss. And what I've seen from this group is that they can flush the bad and move on. It's something we weren't able to do back when I was playing, but now this team's been through playoff runs, and the things you talk about when teams have to get to the finals before they win, it's going through stuff like this, where I think they're better equipped now to manage it and come back with a very strong game tonight.
Mark, always going to catch up with you. What is an assistant coach in the American League? What do you get into player development? What does your off season look like?
My off season is about to be a baseball tournament. So I kick the feet up here for a few weeks and watch my kids play ball.
Right.
And development camp comes up in July, and we'll start getting the tires spinning again come August, get ready for training camp. But right now it's about to watch some 13U baseball and enjoy that.
Ooh, nice. What position is your kid playing?
He's playing second base today. So he's undersized, but he's got some fight in him. So it's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, awesome. Great. Well, enjoy that and enjoy the playoffs. Always great to catch up with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That is Mark Letestu, of course, former Oiler, assistant coach now with the Cleveland Monsters.
He was renowned for being smart. Like, I remember as his career was going on, the chatter was always, he'll be a coach in the NHL one day.
Yeah, dude. He's, and honestly, like one of the more genuine guys I've ever met in the league. Like always, I ran into Mark at the draft a few years, like just walking down the street. I was walking down the street in Nashville, right? Not really paying attention. And he was literally like a block across the street, and he just said, "Hey, Gregor." And I'm just like, "What's?" And you know what? Super came over. Had a really good chat on the street. What's going on? Like, he's a real good dude, right? And smart guy. Well, I won't be surprised if you see him as a head coach down the road, right? But knowing Letestu, he's very methodical. He won't be like, you know what? I'm going to rush to be a head coach because I want to be a head coach, or I'm going to wait and learn so when I'm a head coach, I can be a better head coach.
One of the things that blows me away about people who want to be a coach or a GM is how long-term you have to think. Because these guys start thinking about a career in hockey after playing generally an hour after they retire. Most NHL players aren't planning ahead. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So they retire, and then an hour later, they're like, I'm going to be a coach. It's probably going to take you a decade, if not more, to be where Letestu is in a fairly short span of time, usually. Like, he's moving quick.
Yeah, very much so. Quick break. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Wanya Gretz, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Got the 2-minute warning, and we are coming up to the big draw for Here Comes the Sun. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers, and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
April showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on some of our most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news, we have a great selection of Buicks and GMCs. Plus, Costco members may be eligible for an additional $1,200 discount. What are you waiting for? Spring into Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Grant Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about, like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day, like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this, because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork, proudly delivering world-class hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada since 2016. I'm thrilled to announce our in-house production of tool components and accessories for faster turnarounds and enhanced versatility. The future is here at Cantork.com.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
For a silly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the Car Wash Pros.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever aqua range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer before, during, and after diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor. On regrets, Connor Halley with you. Let's get quickly. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. You want to stay cool all summer? Do it at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, a longtime journalist in town. Cam has cerebral palsy, been in a wheelchair, and due to his disability, was unable. He's always wanted to be on radio. Just couldn't do it until now, as Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
T's often said that what matters in life isn't what happens to you, but what you do with what happens to you. Here in Canada, we have shining examples of that spirit. Think of Terry Fox. After losing his leg to cancer, he didn't surrender. He embarked on the Marathon of Hope, a courageous run across the country on a prosthetic leg to raise money for cancer research, uniting a nation with his determination. And his friend, Rick Hansen. A spinal cord injury from a car accident put him to a wheelchair, but it didn't limit his ambition. He undertook the incredible Man in Motion World Tour, wheeling over 40,000 kilometers through 34 countries, raising millions for spinal cord research and changing perceptions of disability. Before their iconic journeys, Fox and Hansen were teammates, winning national championships together in wheelchair basketball in the late 1970s. Then there's Edmonton's own, the late Gary McPherson. Stricken with polio as a child, he spent 34 years living in a hospital. But he refused to be defined by his circumstances. He became a tireless advocate, the executive director of the Canadian Wheelchair Sports Association for years, a recipient of the Order of Canada, and even ran for the leadership of the Progressive Conservative Party in Alberta. These men faced immense challenges and responded with heroic resolve. And now we have the Edmonton Oilers. They're facing their own adversity, a brutal third-period collapse, and a 1-0 series deficit in the third round of the NHL playoffs. The sky isn't falling, but the pressure is on. It's a challenge, far from ideal. The Oilers might not be raising millions for cancer research or championing disability rights on the ice tonight, but they can win a hockey game. They can look at what happened and decide what they're going to do about it. That's the test of a champion, finding a way to achieve, to bounce back, to write your own story. We've seen what Canadians can do in the face of overwhelming odds. Now it's the Oilers' turn to show that same resilience. 2-minute warning with me, Tater. Monday, Friday, Sports 1440.
Well, you know what? Hey, you got to have resiliency for sure. The Oilers have shown it over the last few years. They've had some tough losses. They bounced back. Yes, last game was clearly a tough final 20 minutes. And you know what? Dallas won't be easy. But, man, the way the Oilers, like, it's interesting. How the Oilers looked in the first 40, Dallas wants to play better there. How the Oilers looked in the last 20, they want to play better there. So, what does it come on? I don't know. I hope I'm wrong because, you know me, I love offense. This one kind of have the suspicion this might be a little bit more of a lockdown defensive game.
It's going to be a long series. All these people are talking all crazy that it's Oilers in 5 or something like that. I think that's disrespectful to your opponent. I would never predict somebody winning a series in 5 games.
Yeah. Well, 5 games. Come on. It's always, hey, it's still a possibility. But you know what? Edmonton, when you look at the numbers, though, historically, you get down 0-2 in the conference final. Not good. In the salary cap era, 1-18 for teams who lose the first 2 games.
Is this the biggest game of the season so far?
Well, yeah, without question.
Wow.
Until you get to game 3.
Unbelievable.
Then it'll be the bigger one. So, but you know what? For Edmonton, like I thought McDavid, 5-on-5, they look really good. Draisaitl, they look great. And when your best guys are playing well, that's obviously going to help you. But their penalty kill has to wake up. And I really think their power play needs to, they're not even when they don't score sometimes, their power play will gain momentum because, you know, oh, here's a good chance, right? It elevates the energy. Lately, their power play, it's like, it's a little bit of a sponge, a little bit of a momentum sucker, really. And that's where I look at the Oilers and their power play. You're not going to score every time. Obviously, heck, even the best power play scoring 3 out of 10, right? Like the great ones, 3 out of 10. But you got to find a way to, when you get a chance, to at least gain some momentum from it. And in the third period, when they're down 4-3, there's a great chance. They didn't even get a shot. They didn't even have a scoring chance. They barely had possession. And I think that just kind of sucks the life out of you even more. So we'll see kind of where it goes from here. When we return, we'll do the draw. Somebody is going to win a $15,000 turnkey solar system courtesy of Action Electrical. I wish you all could win. Thank you all for entering and listening. We'll do the draw when we return after Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Planning a summer road trip? Well, guess what? Before you head out on the road, stop in at Fountain Tire. They'll give you the oil check, tire check, alignment, and brake inspections. So you're not on the side of the road. You're at your destination, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers Stars winning Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson gets going at 5 right here on Sports 1440. Off the ice, the Islanders expected to announce the hiring of Matthew Darch as the team's 7th GM in franchise history. He spent the last 6 years as the director of hockey ops for the Tampa Bay Lightning. In the association, the Knicks trying to even up their series with the Pacers just after 6 o'clock. And in the majors, got the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Rays this weekend down in Tampa tonight. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. Earlier today, Red Sox beating up on the Orioles. The final score, 19-5. Memorial Cup gets going tonight, just over an hour away. Host Rimouski taking on the WHL champion Medicine Hat Tigers. The Edmonton Stingers in action this weekend. Tomorrow night, taking on Vancouver, looking to make it 2 straight wins. That starts at 8, and at 7:30 down in Calgary, the Elks kicking off their freaking schedule against the Stampeders. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions, be joined by Mark Spector, and announce the winner of Here Comes the Sun. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this truck month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. The Stingers.
Positive Friday. How are you? It is game day. It is
dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host the Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles.
Thank you all for entering and
model
listening.
we need.
In the draw when we return after Connor Halley and his sports.
Engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple play. 3 large specialty or 5 topping pizzas for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. It's Positive Friday. Some of you, I know, you know what? You're getting off work a little bit earlier today to ensure you're home and ready. Big plans for the weekend. Conference final game on Friday. Then you got Saturday to do whatever you like. Maybe be heading down to Calgary watching the Elks game. And then, of course, Sunday afternoon. Remember that. Sunday afternoon. 1 o'clock broadcast, 1:20 puck drop. The Oilers and the Dallas Stars. The series is either going to be tied at 1 or the Oilers will be coming home desperate in need of a win, trailing 0-2. So we'll see what happens. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where the Oilers slight underdog, and less of an underdog tonight than they were in Game 1. Interesting enough. So keep that in mind. Also, you can get your tickets for Lotto Max, $40 million. at Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, playalberta.ca, where they got everything: casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, instance, all in one place at playalberta.ca. So now, it's the moment many of you listeners have been waiting for. Here comes the sun. This is an unbelievable package, courtesy of Action Electrical, where I got our trusted draw bin here, right? Very high tech, the draw bin here. And put all the names in, seeing they're all on the bottom, and we'll draw one out. That person wins. You will get a $15,000 turnkey solar system for yourself or the person that you gift to. Lots of people said they would gift it. I couldn't believe it. It's pretty awesome. You know, they had like a sibling or parents or, so somebody, one of the, if I was remembering it correctly, I think it was Steve who had it just, somebody in his neighborhood who was going through a tough time and could use it. So there you go. Now, let's get to the draw. Okay, now I was going to do it reverse and go everybody, but that takes too long. So we'll just do one. All right, first name out. Because you don't want to get your name drawn and then being second. God, that'd be the worst. Like, this is not the time you want to be second.
No, fair.
So we'll draw it out. Congratulations goes to Kylan, congratulations. Kyle N. Sorry, not Kylan. Kyle N. See, look at that terrible chicken scratch I got.
Like, what an interesting name.
Should put the dot, but it's Kyle N.
Less interesting, still good, though.
Yes, Kyle N. There you go. Not Kylan. Kyle N. So, Kyle, answer your phone because the con man's going to be calling you. So, there you go. Pretty awesome. So, a huge shout out to Blake and everybody at Action Electrical. Because it's not only the $15,000 system that you get on your home, it's all the savings you get for the next decade or so at your house. So that's massive. It's a massive package. And so congratulations. All right. So Kyle is the big winner. Cons, and he answered the phone. Look at Cons, he's right on it. Kyle, my man. Or from now on, you might have to call you Kylan. How you doing?
Oh, not so bad. And yourself?
Hey, I'm excellent, man. Congratulations. You have won. Here comes the sun, $15,000, courtesy of Action Electrical.
That's amazing. Great start to the weekend.
And there's a lot of entries, so I don't remember everybody's, but are you keeping it or are you gifting it?
I'll be gifting it to my sister and her husband.
Oh, wow. Look at you, man. You're going to be quite the brother. Wow. That's a pretty big gift for someone. $15,000 plus all of the money savings that they'll have for a while. So that's awesome.
Definitely.
Nice. Well, hopefully she doesn't listen so you can surprise her.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, Kyle,
surprise for her.
Stay on the line. And while Connor has all your info, we'll connect you with Blake and everybody at Action Electrical, and then go through the steps. And when it's all installed and everything, do us a favor and send us a picture, put it on social so we can see it. Because I always like to see the finished product on such a massive prize pack like this.
Sounds great. We'll definitely do.
Awesome, man. Well, have a great weekend. What are the Oilers going to do? They're going to win tonight? What's happening?
Oh, they better win. No doubt about it.
Nice. Well, your sister might have to buy you a beer or two if you're gifting to this too. So let's remember that.
Absolutely. I'll definitely work her on that.
Awesome, Kyle. Right. Well, congratulations, man.
Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
You too. There you go. Kyle, or as we like to call him, Kylan, short for Kyle N. So wow, that's a pretty good brother.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Kidding me? So yeah, I guess his I'm looking up his entry now. You want to give it to his sister and her family. They just they've gone through a pretty tough time and actually just welcoming their first child. So it'll be a big deal for them. So that's fantastic. Fantastic. So there you go.
It's a good contest.
It is a great contest, man. And you know what? Actually, they were the ones who came to me.
Really?
Well, yeah. Well, honestly, I always like to be very forthcoming because when we did our first giveaway with the furnace from Legacy Heating and Bobby, And they were just struck by, the people that won and what a difference it made. And they're like, hey, maybe we should do something like that. So, and I was like, yeah, great. Well, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, let's give away this package. I'm like, well, that's a pretty big package. Sure. So yeah, like I know our winner last year, it's kind of like it's life altering really when you think about it. $15,000 for a lot of people, you can't afford it right away. But then it's the savings long term, just cuts down your bills. And anybody out there right now is looking, if you can save $100 a month here or there, it can make a big difference.
If your company has the ability to make a big impact like that, it's good marketing to give it away.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So big thanks to them. Hey guys, why are the Oilers playing so early on Sunday? It's only a day and a half with travel. You'd think they'd want it at 6 since there's no other games. James from the Hood. Well, James, and I talked to some players about it. And honestly, the players told me they don't think it's that big of a deal. And this was their explanation. So we don't fly after games anymore. Right? Like a lot of times you used to fly after games sometimes because they wanted to get home. But now they do all the studies and it's better to stay in the city, get a good sleep. You sleep in. Usually the flight is 10 or 11 the next day. So, the coach has to make his meet availability because that's a requirement in the NHL. You have to make somebody available. So the coach, Chris Novak, will do a meet availability on Saturday. And then they fly out. And so let's say they leave Dallas at 11 a.m. It's about a 4-hour flight, but you gain an hour, right? Because you're leaving there at 11. Well, that's 10 a.m. Edmonton time. So now you land. You'll be home or the Stars at the hotel by 3 or 4 o'clock. Then, you have a dinner. Away you go to bed. In the morning, they don't have to get up to go to morning skate and come back home. They just go to the rink at like 10:30. So they say it's actually, some of the guys like it better. So, keep in mind, like, is that 5 hours from 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock going to make that massive of a difference as far as fatigue goes? Players tell me no. So I got to trust them. They're the ones playing.
Are there any cities in the NHL where they want to leave same night? Are there any exceptions?
Oh, no. The ones like, if the New York Rangers are playing the New York Islanders, they're not staying overnight, right? Like if you have Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, like the places that are that close, they will do it. But Edmonton, Dallas, no chance. Florida, Carolina, I wonder if they do or not. They might, right? But Edmonton, you're going to get in so late that you don't do it, right? Definitely in the Western Conference, there are quite a few Eastern Conference teams that will do it, especially ones that are 45-hour flight. Anybody like that, they'll do it. So Carolina, Florida, 100%, I don't know. So we'll see. Hey, boys, any update on Pickard? Nope. Pickard is, I don't think Pickard's available in this series. I'm not sold he's available yet in the playoffs, but he's not skating with the team. So he's not, I view Skinner as unavailable for this series. Matthias Ekholm, not playing tonight. I always thought, Matthias Ekholm was maybe game 4, game 5. So I'd probably still stick with that. And that's if, that's always, I said it from the get-go. I was told best case scenario is mid-round 3. That's best case. So now, I talked to Matthias. He says he's feeling good, but feeling good to being ready to play isn't as close as you always think it is, right? Like I've seen some guys skate for 3 weeks before, a month before they're actually playing. So I will say, you know what? If the power play continues to struggle, there might be like, hey, Matthias, can you play? Like, God, maybe you can just play on the penalty kill because he would help there, right? I don't think there's any question about that. And I still think if Ekholm returns this series, he will, I think they would be smart to go 11-7 his first game back. Maybe even a second. That's what they did with Heiskanen, right? You can, especially on home ice, because now if you want, McDavid, Draisaitl, you can get a little bit of a different matchup at times that you want because you're going to be double shifting someone here or there, a little extra shift. So that's definitely why they're doing it. The other thing about that afternoon game was TV. So how it works for the TV deals is when you get to the conference final, they rotate every year. And so this year, ESPN got to pick first which series they wanted. They wanted Edmonton, Dallas. I understand why. And so they pick Edmonton, Dallas. And there's a few things when they make this TV deal, there are certain things that go into it. It's like last weekend, as I mentioned, had Dallas won game 5 against Winnipeg, the Oilers and the Stars were going to play on Saturday 2 days later because there was a contract that stated ESPN got a Saturday game. Now, because they lost, there was a Saturday game and it was Dallas and Winnipeg. So there's the deal. So you put in ESPN, I know that Canadians, well, who cares? But you want to grow the game, then lots of Americans are used to, they love the Sunday afternoon games. And here's the thing, for all the, and not all, for the some that are bitching about it, are you going to watch the game? Yes. Is it going to be that much of a disruption of your life? Unless you're working, it will not. Right? It will not. Like, let's be honest here. So you're going to have your viewing party together with your friends at 1 or at 6. If you have kids, they can all watch the game now. They don't have to stay up late. That's a benefit. If you're the young partiers, you can get day drunk. You can be home in bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock and still be like, man, I had a great shift. If you're an older person, you're like, man, this is great. I can go to bed early. Like, come on. Complain. This is like a first world problem complaint that I don't understand.
And how many people are complaining about the start time happily watch the NFL every Sunday? Like, you're used to watching sports on Sundays anyways. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, exactly. Like, to me, it kind of seems like a hollow complaint.
I prefer a 1 p.m. game to an 8:30 LA start. I'll tell you that much. That thing's ending at 3 a.m. I feel like I'm in a rave.
Well, and I will say this about Edmonton time zone is one of the best sports viewing time zones in the country. So think about it. So your kids, let's say your kids are 8, 9, 10, they got to watch maybe a period because the games did start at 7:50, right? Puck drop was 7:50. They got to watch a period, go to bed. Not ideal, but whatever. You don't get to do everything as a kid. But as the games get, quote, more important later on in the series, now they're earlier. They all start at 6:20, or in the case of Sunday, 1:20. But if you're an Eastern time zone kid, your first and second round start at 7:20, but now they start at 8:20. So it's actually the opposite. It's worse. So, and Central time zone is a little bit better because it goes down, but Central time zone, their games started at 8:50. Some of them actually at 9:20 local time. Like, you thought 7:50 was a tough puck drop. How about 9:20? Right? Some of you would have needed uppers just to get through the game. So and then you look at the NBA Finals. NBA Finals usually is at 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock our time. That's 9 o'clock Eastern time, 8:30 East time. So for the odd one game every now and then, I really think Mountain Standard Time right now, our time zone, whether it's daylight or standard, doesn't matter. We got pretty good when it comes to viewing pleasure. Right? Because the East, even if you live out East and you want to watch McDavid, in the regular season, all the Saturday games are all started at 8. They're starting at 9. That's just how it is. So, you could watch, if you want to watch Ovechkin or Crosby, now you might not get home in time to watch the first period, but you can watch the second and third at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
I've made the mistake of complaining about the 8:30 start on social media on Oilers Nation, and you'll get the people from Europe being like, I'm awake at 4 a.m. to watch this game. Or you'll get the guy in Australia. He's like, it's the middle of the night here.
They're
hardcores,
man.
We can't even do 8:30. They're like, I'm awake at 4:30 in the morning. I live in England.
Ed, hey guys, if it's an afternoon game, I have to spend the evening with the family from Honest Ed, or the family has to spend time with you.
Probably not a treat for them either.
Hey, Greggs, you know what Pickard's injury is? I'm pretty confident it's a muscle issue, and I think it's a little bit of a torn muscle in like the ankle calf area. So that's what I think it is. Ekholm is a groin injury for those curious. 4:20. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Monye Gretzk with you when we come back. Mark Spector will join us from the Big D so we continue to talk Oilers and the Stars in the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legend has fought hold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Get moving with Volvo
and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Centre's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Your cooperator's advisor can help your business do what you want it to. Like we have 2, actually 3, make that 4 locations plan. Talk to a local advisor today about small business insurance that sees your needs as anything but small.
Looking for a local cooperator's advisor? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.426, Jason Gregor. Juan Negrets with you. Hey, Greg's, I think people are worried about the matinee games because they're bad matinee record. Sam Leduc. Well, Sam, the Oilers might have been bad in the matinee for a long time, but since 2020, they are 28, 16, and 6. So actually, and if you look at their overall points percentage and their overall win percentage, if you look at those games in the matinee, which are 50 games, and compared to all the other games, their winning percentage is virtually the same. Their winning percentage is slightly lower, and their points percentage is almost identical. So they actually haven't been that bad. They used to be a bad matinee team. Yes, the decade of darkness. Well, they were sucked in every element, the decade of darkness. But, you go back to earlier days, yes. But if you go back to recent memory with this team in matinees, they're fine. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. The Oilers' record in matinee games isn't much different than the record in evening games in the last 5 years. Let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your number one underground infrastructure specialist. Simple things like getting running water to your home or ensuring that roadway that you're driving on right now is safe. GS Construction. Mark Spector joins us from Dallas. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Great, man. How are you doing, y'all?
Oh, yeah. You hear that a lot in Dallas, don't you?
I was just saying to someone, the other thing I'm figuring out down here, you can't do anything in Dallas until you've been fixing to do it for a while, right? You got to be, I've been fixing to do your show here for a while, and here we are.
Well, everybody has certain slang for different types, right? It's the old A for Canada. That's something a lot of people use. So yeah, fixing, that's a classic. A good one. Oh, I love it. It's like, did you know that in Cincinnati, because I remember many years ago when I went to not Costa Rica, but to Mexico. And we met some people there, and we were chatting. And how cold is it in Canada? I was explaining, you had to plug your car in. They're like, what? Plug your car in? I'm like, yeah, and it's so cold, like you wear a toque all the time. And they're like, you wear a toque? They're like, where? I'm like, well, you wear it on your head because it's cold, keeps you warm. Well, in Cincinnati, a toque is a toboggan.
What?
Yes, like what they call, like what I call a toque on your head, but what they call a toque, that is like, they're like, what the hell is it? They're like, how don't you put it on your head? I'm like, well, it's a toque. What are you talking about? Like it goes on your head. And they're like, well, we slide down a hill on it. I'm like, a toboggan?
What do they call a toboggan then?
I can't remember that one. I was just so fascinated with what they call a toque. I was just like, what? So yeah, everybody has different things. It was weird, very weird. Now the Oilers, I think we would all agree, we call that a little bit of a choke job in the third period. They fell apart for really 7 minutes and gave up the power play goals, and then they couldn't respond. I don't think they have to revamp a whole lot, Spec, but the players that you talk to in your interviews and the coach, like, they know their penalty kills got to get better here. Like, it's their 5-on-5 play. Like, I'm not even sure you'd show much film on it. You're like, guys, we know what they're going to do. We'll adjust, yada, yada. But their penalty kills, it's got to wake up here, because it's not just one game. It's 62% in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been, and during the season, they had a lot of strips where it was not good. Like, this has been a work in progress. They've been under the hood on this thing all season long, to be honest. So yeah, it's somehow, it's amazing that, they were setting the record last year with 4 goals allowed in 25 playoff games. Like, that's just insanity. This year, it's the opposite. Like, it's bad. Now, the one thing I'll say, I did the math on that. I did my Jason Gregor math. In games 4 through 6 of the LA series, they only let in 1 goal.
I know.
And in games 3 through 5 of the Vegas series, they didn't let in any goals. So the bad news is it doesn't start very good. The good news is they have the ability to figure out their problems and shut things down in series. I would suggest, if we're talking about, taking 3 games here to start getting better in this Dallas series, I'm not sure they'll survive. They better start here in game 2 would be my suggestion.
Yeah, 100%. Even their power play, Spec. Their power play started off well against LA, ended up 33% in the series, but since then they're 2 for 14. Now, I know they scored a goal last game, but it was a little bit lucky. Their power play hasn't looked as fluid as you're normally accustomed to, because even when they don't score, they get really close to scoring, right? And they gain momentum from it. Now, historically, their power play will get back on track. But did you know that the last 6 games, the last 4 games on the power play, Bouchard, no shots. Draisaitl, only 2 shots. Hyman-Perry combination, who had 10 shots in the first 8 games, only have combined for 1, and that was the deflection from Perry in the last 4 games. So, they've kind of gone away from some areas of their power play that are successful for them.
Well, there's some things here, right? Like, when's the last time you saw Leon Draisaitl shooting from his office? On a play that worked, like that play where McDavid pulls everybody over to the left side of the zone and then wheels it back to his office and he's shooting. Like, I haven't seen that. The other teams are clearly taking that away. I am a huge proponent of, you've got a guy with the hardest shot in the league at the point. Like, nobody shoots it over whatever the stat is, right, Jay? 95 miles an hour on more occasions than Evan Bouchard does.
Yeah.
And he's got no shots. They don't use him as a shooter. I don't really get that. And the last one is, we've seen, when's the last time you saw Zach Hyman leaning hard on his stick, McDavid or somebody wheeling a hard pass off it and in the net from, 3 feet out? That was like 25 goals last year like that. Haven't seen that in a long time. So the ways they traditionally score on power plays, we're not seeing it. To Glenn Gulletson and the boys, they got to invent some new ways, because, look at this team, Jay. They're winning the 5-on-5 game now in every series. Imagine if they won the special teams the way we're accustomed to. They'd walk to a Stanley Cup. But the special teams have let this team down here over the last while, and change that. And I'll tell you what, you're a hard team to beat.
Yeah. The thing is, Dallas's power play is pretty good. So it's not like, hey, you know what? Our penalty kill is just going to get on track. Well, you're getting on track against one of the best power plays going right now in the playoffs in the Dallas Stars, right? And if you look at their goal spec, they scored from 3 different areas. That's the challenge for Edmonton here, is they got a lot of different areas that they're going to have to improve on the PK.
Yeah, they really, really took over the net front on that PK. If you saw on social media today, the picture of the Granlund shot that went in under the bar past Skinner. I mean, Robertson is absolutely screening him perfectly. He gets out of the way. The puck's passing Skinner's ear is when he sees it. The Heiskanen goal, there's like a layers of 5 different guys. And of course, every star that goes to the net, there's an order that goes with them. So I think missing Big Ekholm, he tends to have a pretty good ability to keep his crease clear. That's not helping. But that's to me, that's the biggest problem Edmonton had last night, is they completely lost their net front battles. It was too crowded. Stu Skinner, you could ask for some saves, sure. How many are you going to get when the guy just can't see a darn thing? Not as many as you're wishing for. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah, no, it's totally fair. Mark Spector joined us, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Looking at the Dallas Stars in the third period spec, they changed their lines.
Yep.
And it worked. Do you expect, are we going to see Duchesne with Marchment and Sagan tonight?
I don't know. That they went back in practice to to lines they started with this morning. So that doesn't mean anything at this time of year, right? It doesn't mean anything. They could throw whatever at you. I'm going to have to say, I'm going to watch warm up tonight and answer your question for you then, long after we're off the air. So, the good sign for Edmonton is there's a coach over there changing his lines. Why do coaches change their lines, Jay? Because the ones they had aren't working, right? Edmonton forced Dallas to change in game, and that tells you what you're doing is working. All those power plays made it. I mean, it changes everything. It's hard to tell what happened in that third period. There's a whole bunch of power plays. Everyone's lines get jumbled. Edmonton was rolling 4 lines so well for 40 minutes. And then in the third period, they couldn't and they didn't. And now you're chasing, so you're putting the big guys out together. The game fell apart in a lot of different ways. So I suggest Edmonton's going to start with similar lines. Brown's playing tonight, according to Knobloch. I bet you Dallas starts where they were, and let's take it from there.
Yeah, well, see, I'm curious why Dallas would stick that way, because both the line jugglings that they did, they both worked. So, they kept the Finn line together. And now Tyler Seguin, he was the best Dallas Stars forward 5-on-5. And really, he had 5 shots himself, spec 5-on-5. And you could combine Rantanen and Robertson and Bannon, like 6 other forwards. They didn't combine to get 5. They didn't even combine to get 5 shots. Like, sounds weird, but Tyler Seguin's been the one Dallas Star who's crushed the orders here last year and this year. He's got 8 points, and he even missed a game last year. Like, he's been pretty good. The Oilers got to find a way to slow him down 5-on-5.
Well, how do you win in the playoffs, right? The other team shuts down the Rupe Hintz line, and you get someone off one of your other lines that's the new hero every night routine, right? That's how the Oilers have been winning games. When McDavid and Draisaitl aren't producing, they get it from somewhere. Somebody's doing it. Adam Henrique or Corey Perry or Connor Brown. So, you know what? The shoe was on the other foot. Like, Rantanen was not a factor in any way in that hockey game. He had 1 assist, and frankly, I barely noticed him. And they still scored 6. So if I'm a Dallas Star, I love that. Right? It's the same things we say in Edmonton when McDavid and Draisaitl don't produce and the Oilers get 5. We go, man, that's a hockey team. So, you know, that's a little bit of your own medicine right there, isn't it?
Yeah, no question. You know, when you're around the players, you can get a better sense sometimes, Spec, talking off the mic or away from the scrums. You know, the Oilers are not a team that panics by any stretch. You know, they've been and experienced a lot. But it is a conference finals. And you know what? Hey, they dug a hole in the Stanley Cup final. They got all the way back, but ultimately couldn't get all the way out of the hole, right? Like, this is, I know it's only game 2. I crunched the numbers in the salary cap era. 1 in 18 teams who lose the first 2 games of a conference final, right? 1 in 18 in the series. So is it possible? Yeah, but it ain't great. Like, this is a pretty damn big game for the Edmonton Oilers tonight.
It is. Yeah, it is. You're right when you say that. You know, this team's so experienced. There's zero panic, and they don't panic. Like, it's not a panic. It's let's just say for fun for this conversation, if they lose tonight, they won't panic for game 3. They will be very concerted, and the effort will be unbelievably focused and good in game 3. You know, it won't be panic. Bad teams panic. I've always said this, right? Dumb people panic. Panic never made a situation better. In any part of our lives, panicking is not good. So, you know, they know what they got. They know where they are. They're very confident at home. They're a hard team to beat in Edmonton. And sure, you want to get the job done here and get your 1 win on the road. And there's no reason to think that they don't have the team to do it, because they showed you last game they did. So no one's, you know, forget panic. There's no concern. There's focus. There's a team that knows what to do to win. And they've done this in a whole bunch of buildings around this league, man, in big games. Tonight, it's Dallas. They're going to roll that same game out tonight. If Dallas can win it, my hat will come off to them, because you'll see a good Oilers team tonight.
Yeah, you would expect so. Any other storylines, any other things you're looking for tonight?
Well, I'm a little, I don't know what's going on with Ekholm. You know, he really looks like he's ready to play on a team that's dying for a penalty-killing defenseman. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if he talks his way into the lineup. I'm not saying, I mean, Chris Knobloch said yesterday he is not playing. So I guess
he's not playing. Stan Bowman said before the series.
They all say stuff, man.
Yeah,
you know?
but normally they wouldn't just blatantly lie and say that, oh, he's not going to play, then he plays. But
I'm not calling anyone a liar if he plays tonight. I'm saying that the doctors, you know, listen, I got a feeling in my bones that this guy, he really wants to play. The team really needs him. And does he need 2 more days? Is that what we need here after all this time off? 2 more days going to be the difference? I don't know. So that's one thing. And the rest of it, I don't see a lot of difference. I don't see, I mean, Skinner took Brown's spot in the morning skate. But yeah, if Brown can play, Brown will play. And Chris Knobloch said this morning, Brown is going to play. You know, we're at that point. I think if they lose tonight, maybe we're at lineup changes point, Jason, like we were in the last series. Maybe you say, okay, it's time to get some fresh blood in here. But I don't think there's going to be any fresh blood, you know, before they lose 2 in a row here for sure.
Spec, enjoy the game tonight.
Looking forward to it, man.
It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS. Hey, Spec, are you still there? No, he isn't. Or is he still there, Cons?
Yeah, I'm still here. What do you want?
Do the green lights ever go off in the aisles in Dallas? Like, are they on the whole game?
They're on the whole game. Yeah, they're on the whole game.
Wow.
I don't get it either.
Yeah. I was just curious, maybe Because I know they show on the ice and then it goes away and it comes back. But so they're on just full time the entire time.
I'm pretty sure they're on all the time. I'll watch again tonight. But
yeah, well, that's your assignment. Don't care about what's on the ice. I want to see what's happening out there.
Man, because that's important. That's why they send me to places like this.
Exactly. Yeah. Spec, we need an article tomorrow on the lights in the aisle.
Okay, I'm going for real now, okay?
Yeah. Okay, see you later. That's Mark Speck with the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Woo! Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
With all the news about tariffs and price hikes coming our way, you have to be strategic with your money. St. Albert Dodge knows that and has some good news for you. Right now, all Ram 1500s are available with 0% financing for up to 72 months. So think about it. You can get into a brand new Ram 1500 right now at pre-tariff prices, while selection is still good, and pay 0 interest on your financing. That keeps more money in your pocket. And that's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
The big one is here at the Brick. Big deals and even bigger savings. Score up to 25% off sofas, sectionals, and recliners. Up to 25% off TV stands, wall units, and fireplaces. Save 50% on beds when you buy 3 matching bedroom pieces. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 major kitchen appliances. Finally, start sleeping better when you save up to 50% off select mattresses. These big deals won't last long. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes! FittedGolf.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Get your power play amped up with UL, supplying the City of Champions in Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. UL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Monia Gretz with you. Big shout out to Atlas, who brought you fellas some lunch today. Had steak and potatoes and the cheesecake. I see Declan's trying to sneak it. He has a cheesecake going outside the studio, and he leaves it break and has a few bites, thinking they, because all Mr. Fit. It's okay to have dessert. You don't have to hide it from us. All right, so I like it, but it is good. It was good. So thanks to Shaq and the gang for dropping that off for you fellas. LT, they actually wrapped the whole bone of the steak in like tin foil. So the one guy's like, yeah, I kind of like to gnaw on it. And I was like, what? But I think you can give it to the dog. So,
the dog would love that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Big day.
Might have cut it up, and I don't think my dog could. Dog would be keeled over in a second. So, but any big pooch, I might have to. Our neighbor has a big dog, so I might have to give him a surprise. Oilers need to be a dog on the bone as we transfer over to 5 questions tonight. They'll need to be, Hey, the Oilers had a great start last game, right? Great first 40 minutes. It's hard to play that way. But again, when you look at games 4 and 5 against Vegas, right? Game 1 against Vegas, they've had long stretches, game 5 against LA, where they completely control the game. So they're capable of doing it. We'll see if they can, because Dallas against Winnipeg, against Colorado, and game 1 against the Oilers, they haven't been that good 5-on-5. Their special teams is crushing it, right? Their power play is the main reason that they're winning. And so, you know what? Now I think what are they, 18 and 8? So they're plus 10 on their special teams. It's a big reason why they're winning. So, the Oilers can be disciplined. I think their speed, they should be more than fine to handle it. Obviously, you want to limit high offensive zone turnovers off the rush. Limit that, and they should be good. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. Now, even The Brick knows Sunday, you're not going to do any afternoon shopping. You'll be watching the game. But Saturday, stop in at The Brick, man, or you can get great deals on mattresses, great deals on big screen TVs, $1,000 off. So, or maybe, you know what? If you're a non-sports fan, you're probably not listening to the station. But if you are, Sunday afternoon is probably the time to go to The Brick. No one else will be there.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1 for you today. Of course, we got to get your game day prediction. Also, how many goals will the Oilers penalty kill allow?
I'll go 5-3 for the Mighty Oil, obviously, Connor. And I'll go no power play goals against, because I'm like that.
No, Dallas will score a power play goal. But Pepe is good.
It's not what I see written down here in front of me.
Prediction. Well, I think the Oilers have to win this game. Just when I look at history, I shouldn't say they have to. Like, they want to win the series, I think they got to win the game tonight, so they'll win.
Question number 2. Declan said face-offs, but who or what will be your X factor in game 2?
Well, for Edmonton, it's going to be discipline. It has to be. Like the coach said, we can't take offensive zone penalties. You just can't do it. So to me, it's discipline factor for the Oilers. They've been a pretty well-disciplined team, but they weren't in game 1, and it cost them.
I read this as who's your pick to be an X factor, Connor?
Yeah, well, when Declan said face-offs, I changed it up a little.
I see. I was just going to...
Who or what?
Who or what?
I was going to shut out either half a Brown Mark. Those guys are goated.
Well, that's a good one. That's kind of with the way I was going originally, but we changed on the fly there. Kevin Cheveldayoff, Jim Nill, and Bill Zito named as the finalists for the Jim Gregory GM of the Year award. Do you have a favorite in this category? And do you think there was any GM that might have been robbed?
You know what? I'm not really in the habit of cheering for other teams' GMs. I cheer against all of them. And so we're not nominated, and so I don't care.
Well, I'm kind of perplexed. What did Kevin Cheveldayoff do this year? Other than his team got to the Elite Eight, like they were first. But if your GM's job, like what acquisitions did he make? He didn't really do anything. How is Doug Armstrong not there? Doug Armstrong got Broberg, played tons of minutes. He got Dylan Holloway for 60 points. And then he acquired Cam Fowler for nothing, and Cam Fowler was unreal in the playoffs. So I'm kind of perplexed as to why Armstrong isn't there, to be honest. So that would be my one. I think Bill Zito's going to win, though. Look at Brad Marchand, Seth Jones. Enough said.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember Cheveldayoff getting criticized at the deadline for not doing enough.
Yeah. Like, I don't get it. Like, that's just now they just sit in their little pool and they vote each other all the time. It's dumb.
Was there an actual pool?
I don't know. There might be.
That sounds pretty
Maybe
cool.
it's a bathtub. I'm not sure.
Question number 4. Elks kicking off the preseason this weekend against the Stamps. Now, at playalberta.ca, they've got the over-under for wins at 7.5. If you were the odds maker, what would you put that number at?
Well, they know more than me, so I guess maybe I'd go 8.5. But I would take over all day at 7.5 for the Elks. I think the Elks are, 9-win season, 500. There's nothing guaranteed, but I like the Elks team a lot. I think they're improved a lot. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I think just from the attitude around the team to how they've gone through training camp, there's a lot of change there. I really like their improved defense. Right? It's funny. Chris Jones is a defensive coach, and their defense wasn't that good. So I think their defensively they'll be way better. Their D-line, their secondary, their linebacking core is already good. Really, to me, it's just going to come down to, do they got some playmakers in the receiving core?
I would agree with you. I don't see any reason why they can't be 500 this season.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah.
So I'll take the over as well, Connor.
All right. Final question for you guys. On this day in 1980, The Shining was released in theaters, of course, based off Stephen King's novel. So when it comes to movies based on books, what would you say is your favorite?
I'm going to hit you with a deep cut here. Declan, you may understand this because you're obscure, but The Road by Cormac McCarthy is a really good book and a really good movie. It's scary.
What's it called?
The Road. It's about the end of the world and everyone's on a road, like in the title, The Road. They go into this one house, and I won't tell you what they do, but boy, what a story.
All right. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go a little off the board here.
Step It Up, the movie? It's not a book.
No. I'm going to go with a little bit of a romance show because I thought it was actually for a romantic movie. I never read the book, so I don't know if, and that's the thing. It's hard if you haven't read the book to know if was the movie accurate based on the book, but I'm going with The Notebook. But The Notebook was actually pretty well done. There's not I don't mind to watch a romantic movie every now and then, but I thought it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't super cheese in the movie, so I kind of like it. So I'll go with the Notebook.
Connor?
Close I would have went to was The Hunger Games. I'm a big fan of The Hunger Games. I like those.
Those are books too?
Yeah.
Prequels coming out to that, isn't there? New movie.
A prequel is coming up?
Yeah. I saw the cast with their younger selves. They did a pretty good job with some of the actors.
Yeah.
This one is a weird one for me because long movies aren't usually my thing, but I really liked The Green Mile.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'll
go with The Green Mile.
Is that a Stephen King book?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's not horror, though. Like, that's almost...
it's supernatural.
Supernatural, right? Because he's able to take all your pain and right? And then he sees when there's the bad people and who he can tell whose soul is black.
It's a good movie.
Or dark. Yeah.
Good job, Connor.
Now, another one, I think it's a true story. Is 127 Hours a true story, Cons?
Yeah.
So it's a book, but it's a true story. Like, I remember when I watched the movie, because I hadn't read the book, and I watched the movie.
Right?
Yeah, the hiker gets caught, and then he basically has to saw off his own arm, just save himself. I'm like, hey, good for you. A, to know how to do it. B, to be capable of doing it, because mofo, that would hurt.
Most everybody would die.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, that was... But they do, the will to survive in human beings is pretty high. And obviously in that one, that was pretty high. But that, I remember watching because I wasn't expecting. I never read the book. And I was just like, what? And then I read up on it. It's like, no, that actually happened. Like, crazy.
What a nightmare. I just keep saying, this is why I should never have gone rock climbing.
Yeah. No, I couldn't do rock climbing. I'm not
in the searing heat like that guy was trapped in.
Yeah, no, that's next level. Like, there's people that like to push themselves. That is next level.
Did you see that guy who did the cave spelunking? And unfortunately he passed away, but he went down in this hole that's infamous for being hard to do and got stuck.
Yeah.
And then they had to try to fish him out and they couldn't get him out. What are you doing head first in the cave, bro? Watch an Oilers game at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. Relax.
Well, hey, have a good one. We got the pregame show coming up next with Walker, myself, and Paulson. Enjoy the weekend. Back to double dip, almost like it's back-to-back. It's Friday night and then Sunday afternoon. Mixed in with an Elks game and Stingers on Saturday as well. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice as they take flight with the legendary new Dragon Fruit lineup. The Dragon Slayer Smoothie, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Try one today at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Just about an hour and 20 minutes away from puck drop down in Dallas as the Oilers and Stars meet in Game 2 of their best of 7 pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Jason Gregor coming up next year on Sports 1440. In the association, you got the Knicks and Pacers meeting from MSG. Pacers up in that series 1, game to none, tip-off just after 6. In the majors, Jays kicking off a weekend series against the Rays down in Tampa. Tonight it gets going at 5:05. Right now, a couple games underway. The Reds on top of the Cubbies 2-0. Earlier today, the Orioles fell to the Red Sox 19-5 in game 1 of their doubleheader, which once again has been postponed with rain in the Boston area. The Memorial Cup kicking off tonight with host Rimouski taking on the WHL champion Medicine Hat Tigers. That gets going in about 5 minutes' time. Over the weekend, you got the Stingers in action, looking to make it 2 straight wins, and they take on the Vancouver Bandits at 8 o'clock. Also tomorrow, the Edmonton Elks kicking off their preseason schedule down in Calgary up against the Stamps. That gets going at 7:30. Coming up next year on Sports 1440, it's pregame coverage with Andrew Walker. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer Smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Kevin Carius, Lowetide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
The big one is here at the Brick. Big deals and even bigger savings. Score up to 25% off sofas, sectionals, and recliners. Up to 25% off TV stands, wall units, and fireplaces. And save 50% off beds when you buy 3 matching bedroom pieces. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 major kitchen appliances. Finally, start sleeping better when you save up to 50% off select mattresses.
These big deals won't last long. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The My Choice sales event is back at Nissan, where you can get the all-new boldly redesigned Kicks with best-in-class cargo space. Right now, choose Kicks S front-wheel drive with $1,200 in Nissan bonus or accessory credit, or choose 3-year prepaid maintenance. The choice is yours with My Choice. Hurry in. These offers won't last long. Head to your local Nissan dealer and make your choice today. Available in leasing or financing through NCF. Conditions apply. See Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
You're listening to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Sports 1440 presents the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show, powered by Cross Mitsubishi at 34th Avenue and 96th Street. They offer a huge selection of new and used vehicles. Check them out today. Now, here's your pregame host, Andrew Walker.
All right. Hello, everybody. In a perfect world, the Edmonton Oilers, after game one of the Western Conference Final against the Dallas Stars, they probably wanted to drop the puck about an hour later and get game two going right away. 5-on-5, as we've talked about for 48 hours. Oilers are pretty good in game one, but they got into penalty trouble in the third, and then the PK couldn't save them. 6-3, Dallas takes game one, a game that the Edmonton Oilers definitely let slip away. The good news is the Oilers have been in familiar territory a number of times over the last number of years, trailing in a game, trailing in a series. It does not rattle this group, and the split is right there for them tonight if they play that same way 5-on-5. Obviously, some things have to be tightened up. It's Andrew Walker, and this is the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show prior to game two. Head to Cross Mitsubishi today and drive your ambition, 9605 34th Avenue, and Cross Mitsubishi.ca. 6 o'clock puck drop tonight, so we are running into the Jason Gregor Show for the final hour, and Greg's joins me now for the first segment. Lots to get to. We have the River Cree over-under. We'll set up the lines tonight. The injury report coming up for Titan Supply, and Landon Farrar, our game day analyst, coming up in segment number 2 is, Greg's, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Excited to see how the Oilers bounce back. They got a good reputation here the last few years of being able to bounce back. And you know what? I think they'll be annoyed because that game they had in complete control. And we've seen them. They've completely controlled game 5 against LA, game 1 against Vegas, game 4 and 5 against Vegas. And they didn't let any of them slip away. They never even came close to really being in trouble. And that one just fell apart mainly on special teams. Their penalty kill was awful. And they allowed 3 goals in 5:26. Their discipline was just below awful as well. So you know what? We'll see how the Oilers come out. I think they just want to do exactly what they did. They were the faster team than Dallas was virtually for that entire, even in the third period at 5-on-5 after they sucked on the penalty kill. They got back and created some chances. Brown hit the goalpost. So I think Edmonton should feel really confident about their 5-on-5 game. But man, when they take a penalty, I'm curious just how fragile they'll be on the penalty kill.
It's such a departure, right? Because last year, as good as McDavid was, and Draisaitl and Bouchard, and they're setting scoring records, I would say last year's run to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, the single biggest storyline probably was the penalty kill, right? It was setting records. It was at one point, plus, right? It was 31 for 33 or something, and they had scored shorthanded goals. It's the biggest difference between a year ago and this year. If your special teams are going to be as good as the Oilers were last year, there's not many teams that are that are going to beat you. And I had a member of the Florida Panthers staff actually tell me post Stanley Cup that without all the scouting they did and all the game notes and all the video work that they did to prepare for that series against the Oilers, they said the one area that they got lucky in is that they were not, and it's hard to believe in today's day and age where you got access to everything, they were not prepared for how good the Edmonton Oilers penalty kill and how impactful it was going to be. It's almost like they thought they were on some kind of lucky run, but no, man, those guys were beasting for 2 months. So, the Oilers, it's the same personnel. They got it in them.
The defense is totally different.
Yes,
right?
Ekholm's gone. That's big.
Cece's gone.
Yeah.
Like the whole right side is gone. Desharnais. Now he didn't play he only played one game against Florida, but they had Cece and Ekholm played the most minutes by far. I think they miss him, no question. The other thing was no one. I said at the start of the regular season, the Oilers' the penalty kill is never going to be that good again. Like it's impossible to be -1 for 25 games on the penalty kill. So they needed a realistic number. I was like, hey, if they can be 82%, that's fine. But they're 62%. And like Desharnais had 15 block shots himself last year in the playoffs. The Oilers' defense as a group don't even have that. And they played, 12 games. So their defense as a group isn't blocking as many shots as they were last year. Desharnais, Ekholm, Nurse, right? Like Nurse leads the Oilers and he has 5 block shots. Brown had 3 and he only played 1 game. Like they're not getting in the shooting lanes as much this year. That's a factor. So that, there's that commitment. You're confident. So they were reading the play, I think, better to get in the lane. Now, if you're not in the lane to start with, then you're kind of screwed. So that's a small part of it. But the other thing was they were never going to match like 92%, but to fall to 62 is a big, like, it's not like, okay, if they were 82, we probably wouldn't even really be talking about their penalty kill, but it's 62% and it just got obliterated in the last game.
Yeah. And what you said off the top, I mean, I completely agree with it. I think one of the themes of the Oilers individually and collectively over the last number of years is, like you said, their ability to bounce back, the ability of the coaching staff to make adjustments. Other than game 1 and game 2 in LA, which, I mean, feels like a million years ago, the Oilers have very, very seldom lost back-to-back games because of the exact same things, right? Like they've had back-to-back losses in the postseason, but they, to Vancouver or to Florida in the final, but they were never for the exact same reasons. Like this team does bounce back quite well, and even individual performances, they bounce back for that as well. I know that the meme was kind of going around of a pissed off McDavid and Draisaitl on the bench, and someone screenshotted that and says, "Oh boy, look out, Dallas is in trouble." And I'm not saying you should just blindly believe in your team no matter what, from this homer mentality, but we have a sample size, Greg's. This team, if they lose a game because of reason X or Y, and it was discipline and penalty killing, that was it. And maybe a little panic by Stuart Skinner on the 4th goal. I hated the 4th goal for a number of reasons, but if they do lose tonight, I don't think it's going to be the same template.
Yeah, that's probably fair, right? Like, well, it'd be hard to give up 3 goals back to back to back like that, but like Dallas won't be easy because the Dallas Stars, as Matt Duchene said, hey, we won and didn't bring our A game. So they're going to feel like we got a lot of areas to improve. Now, here's the thing, though. That wasn't just a 1 game 5-on-5. The Stars haven't been good 5-on-5 all playoffs, really. Colorado outscored them, and Dallas needed a great comeback and, kind of a miracle comeback in game 7. The Winnipeg Jets, they broke even with the Jets, and that's with Connor Halley giving up 4 somewhat really easy goals 5-on-5. In that series. It's their power play that's won them, and just like it did against the Oilers. And so the Stars, their power play right now is like the Oilers' penalty kill last year. They can't wait to get over the boards. They're like, get over the boards, boys. We're going to score. And that's a real powerful thing. So Edmonton is going to have to be disciplined because I think Dallas can play better 5-on-5. I'm just not sure how much better they can play.
Yeah, and when Speck, and I know Speck was on with you as well when he was on the post-game show after game 1 for Speck on the road, said the same thing. When you look at, the messaging to both clubs, I mean, the Oilers, it's very simple, right? Okay, we need to be more disciplined and the PK has to be better. But you don't have to go on the PK if your discipline's a little better. For Dallas, there's for for that club, there's a lot more that has to be done because you got crushed 5-on-5. That's a little harder to make an adjustment. You just can't go from, hey, we're a bad 5-on-5 team, let's be good now. The Oilers, to your point, have to be feeling pretty good about that. There's a lot. I would say, even though the Stars won 6-3, when you're thinking of how many things stay the same, how many things do we got to do differently, it's the Stars who have to make probably the most adjustments.
Well, 5-on-5, because that's where the majority of the game is played, yes. But I am interested to see what the Oilers can do to just try to get a pulse on their penalty kill going, because I'm a big believer in confidence, and right now you've got a power play with boatloads of confidence in Dallas, and you got a penalty kill that's going to be gun shy. So, can Edmonton play a almost perfect game and maybe take one or two penalties, right? Can they do that? And then, can the penalty killer, because to me, the thing that's why I always chuckle when people say, special teams doesn't matter. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You've got a smaller window of time that has a higher percentage of goals scored. If you look at the goals per minute on power plays compared to 5-on-5, it's not even close. So, yes, it matters a lot. And so Edmonton could control the game for 40 minutes. And if they're only up 2-1, and then Dallas gets a power play and boom, it's a tie game, you're just like, oh, my God, we just wasted 45 minutes and now we're even.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And it is the subject of our River Cree over-under. I may as well throw it out for all the people. The Weiss Johnson text line is open, 1-833-401-1440. We're going to focus on that. I mean, the number one thing tonight, can the Oilers stay out of the box? I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable. There's penalties you got to take, or, you have an errant stick or something fluky happens. You can't take penalties 180 feet from your own net. I think we all know that. So the over-under tonight that you can weigh in on for the gift card to the River Cree Resort and Casino, can the Edmonton Oilers keep it under 4 times in the penalty kill tonight? So that's 1 per period. So the over-under is 3.5 Oilers time on the penalty kill. So over or under, you would think the Oilers, you'd want to go even lower than 3, but if you can keep it to 1, 2, or 3, you give yourself a chance. I mean, Dallas had to be almost perfect on the power play last game to win it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Edmonton, there's been a few games, like when they seem to take penalties, they take them in droves, and like they did against LA in those first few games. So they'll have to remain disciplined now, because I didn't like the Perry penalty at all, and I really didn't like the Kane penalty. I know they say, but you got to be in control of your stick on a back check there. You know what? He didn't even have much control of the puck. And I know some people were like, he sold it. You got to stick right in the chin. Like that's a blatant penalty all day long. Oh, yeah. Like Dave Jackson, the former ref, tweeted it out, and it was as blatant of a stick to the face as you can really get.
Now, I can't remember. Maybe you can. The thing that pissed me off a little bit about the Perry call, not that it wasn't a penalty, it was, but I can't even remember what the play was. But it was earlier in that sequence. I was off my bar stool with my arm in the air because, like, it looked like the Oilers were going to go on the power play. Something happened they didn't call. And then when the camera wasn't even on Perry, when he buried the Stars defenseman in front, and so I thought when that arm went up, I thought it was a delayed call that they got the first one right, and the Oilers are going to go on the power play. So when I saw the replay, yes, it's a penalty on Perry, but they let one slide seconds earlier, and so I think it wasn't a bad whistle for the Oilers. It just kind of felt like it because a lot of things happened in short order.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember I remember watching.
No evidence. No, I just remember my actions. Yeah.
I watched the Perry play and I was just like, what's he doing? Like, that's for a guy who was, playing his 227th NHL game. That's just not at that time of the game, especially when your penalty kill at that point, like it's leaking all over the place, right? Like it's just like a massive oil spill and you're just like, what is happening? And then you go right back on the penalty kill. It wasn't, it was for a guy who's had that was just not good timing. And, even the head coach said, hey, we can't take those penalties.
I guess this is a better way to sum it up. My impression was that because they missed that first call, that Perry in his mind was kind of like, oh, okay, prison rules. And it's like, well, no, they're gonna get you 10 seconds later, and they did.
Yeah, well, usually that's what happens, right? If a ref does miss an initial one, that's why usually you never want to retaliate, because more often than not, you'll get busted.
Stuart Skinner. I know you were complimentary is the wrong word, but you didn't bury him after games 1 and 2 against the Kings, and I'm with you. Did he make a big save? No. Did the Oilers give up chances, for fun? They did. Pickard comes in, saves the day. Pickard leaves with an injury. Skinner comes in. He's done a great job. Skinner is obviously a little bit more unpredictable. We know that. Fans love to get on him. And I would say the trust factor from the fan base is not overly high. What did you make of Skinner last game? What's your trust level with him heading into game 2?
Well, it wasn't good enough. Let's just, I think, call a spade a spade. He's got to be better in that game, in my opinion. Every now and then, you know what? Hey, you need your goalie to make a big save. But the thing was he looked the wrong way on the screen, and screens are going to happen. You got to look around the screen. It was the fourth goal that bothered me more than anything, because it looked like he lost his focus, and he's like, oh, you can't be worried about an official. Like, I don't think that was a blatant penalty. I'm not even sure it was a penalty, to be honest. Like, there was a little bit of contact, but Stetcher was right there with the guy. So I didn't like that fourth goal, because it looked like he kind of gave up. And the thing was, Duchesne's first shot, he hit his own guy. If Skinner would have been back in position, they don't score a goal. So Skinner, and I wrote about it today. The problem with Skinner is when he has the bottom game, it's really bottom, right? He's allowed 5 goals or 25 goals in 5 playoff games the last 2 years, 25 over 5. He's only allowed 51 in the other 24. So, and he had a 2.14 goals against average, a .915 save percentage in 24 games. The other 5 are awful. So I know that you can't always just pick out the bottom ones, but they're so glaring. It's got to be where, you know what, maybe instead of 5, it's 3 goals or 4. It can't just be like, oh, I let in one bad one. Now I got to let in another one. Oh, now I'm going to get rattled. You got to stay focused. You can't just be like, well, I'll sit out for a bit and then I'm good again. You just, at that position, it might be unfair because there's more onus on it. But like if a D-man serves up a pizza, everyone's like, okay, but he can't go out and serve up another one and then another one, right? Like you got to stop it. So
I guess.
Yeah, Skinner's got to be able to not let a bad goal or a bad read get to him to the point where now it turns into 2 or 3.
Oh, we are totally on the same page. What I hated about the fourth goal, this was my read on it. Could be right, could be wrong. He obviously lost the puck a little bit, so he's on the wrong side. And the second that puck moves over, Skinner's like, oh crap, like I'm on the wrong side. I am screwed. And he was. So he quit. And then Duchesne missed, right? He hit Hintz in the ass. And then by that point, Skinner's like, oh, I have a second chance, but I already gave up on the play. Duchesne puts it in. Now he's embarrassed, and now he puts his arm up in the air looking for a call. And it's just an awful look the whole way. And I called him on the post game. I kind of called him. He feels like a bit of the anti-Oiler, because the thing I love about this team the most is that something bad happens and it never matters, right? Like McDavid and Draisaitl and the team, they get down in games, they get down in series, a call goes against them, they give up a bad goal. Like even going back to the Calgary series, and Rasmus Andersson ties the game from his own blue line in a critical game. Like how many teams just fold? Oilers played maybe their best 10 minutes of the playoffs after that a couple years ago. So that's what I love about this Oilers team. And there's one guy that seems to be like this slave to confidence and momentum, like you talked about, and that's Skinner. And it's just, he can be very good. We know that. But he's the one guy, if things are going poorly, the leaders on this team, they don't let it go much more after that. And Skinner can sometimes. And that it bugs me and a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I think it's totally fair. Skinner, but the thing was, the first 40 minutes, Skinner was like the rest of the team. Solid, good, posed, everything. And that third period, the penalty kill stunk, the discipline stunk, the goaltending stunk, the power play stunk. And it was collectively a team effort. And so, in a way, that's probably a good thing. And that's why, to me, last game was not one where you could point to one person. That was a collective meltdown by every facet of their game in the third period.
So quick, right? Like it was a couple of hours of everyone fist bumping and feeling pretty good about how the Oilers looked in this series. And then it was over so fast.
Yeah. Oh, well, 5:26, man, 3 goals. Boom.
He is Jason Gregor. I'm Andrew Walker. I'm live at Smoke Barbecue and Bar down here, 103rd in the Ice District. We'll continue the pregame show here for Cross Mitsubishi. We'll be here to watch the game and then the postgame show as well down here from the Ice District as well. Landon Ferraro on the way, former NHLer, and we will I'll do it with you, Greg. So a quick first look at the lines, and brought to you by Nisku Ford as always. Get rebates as high as $11,500 or choose 0% financing. Details at niskuford.ca. There's no Connor Brown skating today. I assume we're looking at kind of the same idea. Yeah, the same idea as game one. He's going to be in. There's no reason for him to skate this morning. Some people, how do you lose and not make many changes? Edmonton, by and large, was pretty damn good in game one. So I do understand the sticking with it type of thing.
Well, I don't think you're going to bring in Emberson. There's no goalie to bring in. Not that I would anyway. The only forward you'd consider, I think, was some people said Jeff Skinner. And I'm like, okay, but here's the truth. They're not going to play Skinner and Corey Perry on the same line. They're not going to do it. So if you bring in Skinner, now you're changing up your lineup, right? Because it's not just one guy. Now you got to switch the other lines to make it work. So, the only guy maybe you would have considered is Arvidsson. But I didn't mind Kapanen's game. So he's quicker. He's bigger. So I think this team, the way they've played, you stick with it. And now if they lose tonight, I could see them making a change somewhere for game 3.
Yeah, you could make a few changes. And now, if you're tied in the series, everything changes. If you continue to struggle, we're going to focus a little bit more on the Ekholm thing too, right? This is going to be a game-to-game conversation. But like you said, at this point, it's a doctor's thing too with Ekholm. So,
I'd be surprised. I've said all along, game 4 or 5 best case scenario. So, we'll see. Now, could he slide in on an afternoon game afterwards? Maybe. And if they do, I think they'll go 11-7 is what they would start with. Just to give yourself, I think you have to.
Time we saw him on the ice.
Dallas did it with Heiskanen, and I think it'd be smart to do it with that.
Greg's, have a wonderful Friday night and enjoy your weekend. And I guess we'll see you bright and early tomorrow at the game.
Sunday, early game, buddy. Get some sleep. Enjoy the post-game show, and Oiler fans, enjoy the weekend. It should be it's going to be electrifying regardless. Oiler fans, Friday night if they win, it'll be hopping everywhere, and if not, then Sunday afternoon the fans will bring it even more because they want to try to help the team win.
100%. Jason Gregor, the Jason Gregor Show, will take over with the rest of the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show when we come back from Smoke Barbecue and Bar. It's Andrew Walker. Landon Ferraro is on the way next, right here.